All right, so hopefully I don't even really plan on being on here for that long. Uh, really even talking about this. Hopefully not. Um, Now, one thing I will sit up there and say is that I've been watching this from the background for a little bit of time, and I've seen a lot of things end up transpiring when it specifically deals with the black community. And some of the things that I and other black content creators have stated is that, yo, you need to keep certain people out of these discussions. You need to keep certain people away from these topics. Um, you need to start gatekeeping a lot of things. And this is the reason why. Because at this moment in time, just in case none of y'all are aware, there's literally a war. There's literally nuclear fallout that is taking place at this moment in time amongst the black content creators, um, in that area. And it's crazy. It's 1,000% crazy. Now, this is the other thing that I'm going to also state as well. One of the main things that I try to do, at least on my channel, right, is that I try to, while giving the critiques and different things like that when it deals with the black community, I've critiqued black women, still critique black women, point out the things that need to get fixed. But and I do that out of necessity because, again, I care, right? But when you have black men who are directly out here, and the main thing that they're doing is that they're caping for, they're directly body blocking for, and they're defending this woman here, it makes that job oh so difficult, right? Because you want to know the funny part about that is, and this is the part I'm not even mad. I'm not even mad. So this is now when the divestors, the black women that I've talked about oh so long, the black women that I've pointed out oh so long, this is now when they got their come up. This is now their real come up. The moment in time that they were waiting for, they're back there. They were rubbing their hands like Birdman. It was like, yeah, yeah, y'all can keep saying this. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Keep talking about the divestors. We got you. Our time is going to sit up there and come. And here it is. So now they officially 1,000% have all the ammunition that they need. I'm talking about they can literally just off of what is going on because of her, they can now go back through so many of these channels and they can point out this, and now they can sit up there and now just ultra generalize all black men, be like, hey, black women, this is what we sat up there and told you. Y'all should have sat up there and listened to us. Y'all still sitting up there caping for these Negroes. Y'all sitting up here still caping for these black men. These black men don't sit up there and care about you. These black men don't love you. Look how they sitting up there caping for this white woman after she did what she did and yada, yada, yada. I'm not even mad. And I don't even really got no pushback for it. It ain't nothing I can say. It ain't nothing I can say because they got the examples. They got the examples. They got countless black men out here that have either had interactions with this woman, worked with this woman, whatnot, or whatever. And all they have to do is now just pair that up, right? Pair up the fallout and then pair up the content of what it is that those guys have specifically stated. It don't matter if it's within context or out of context. They got content for months. For months. They don't have to cover no other type of stories, no other type of news. They can just continually cover this. And anytime that they want to sit up there and say something negative about black men, all they got to do is just show her face. Shout out to the divestors. Y'all got it. Like I said, it ain't nothing I can do. Like I said, I've tried my best to sit up there and highlight different things. I've talked about divestors, swirlers, whatever you want to sit up there and call it, from both angles, showcased stories from all over dealing with both black men and black women. And like I said, this is a very tiring thing. Very tiring thing. And Pearly Things did exactly what she was supposed to do. She did what she was supposed to do. Right? Because if we want to sit up and take it back far enough, we can look at what white people did to the Black Panther Party, where they used one of our own in order to get into the Black Panther Party, disassemble that, and basically annihilate everybody. And then he magically annihilated himself, right? That was, long story short, that was pretty much the whole story of the Black Panther Party, right? So then we take it a little bit after, where black women were basically left, without those leaders, those strong, male models, directly out there. And women such as Pearly Things came up with the whole thing of feminism, handed that to black women and told them, like, hey, even though you just lost your men, you really don't have anything in common with us. Our plight with our men is the exact same thing that you're going through with, black men. We're all equal in this, sister, and pull them, directly in. And look where we are at this moment in time. Like I said, no matter how you sit up there and look at it, it is what it is. And it's that way because black people allow these things to take place. Black people don't gatekeep anything. Black people will be welcoming, and they will allow anybody into the topic, anybody into the conversation. So, like I said, I'm not mad at what it is that she did. She came in there as a white woman. She saw that there was a space due to the fact that Kevin said, and let me just go back to this as well. So, due to the fact of Kevin Samuels no longer being here, right? He was the fixture that was up there. He was pretty much, for some people might want to sit up there and label, the head. However people want to sit up there and put it, right? But he was the main body that was up there, that was getting all of the light, right? Some people were mad about it, other people weren't, whatnot or whatever, right? But he was that fixture. He was the go-to that if at any moment in time people wanted to talk about somebody trying to correct, somebody trying to direct actions that black women need to take, and yada, 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 people always talk about Kevin Samuels. Don't matter if you loved him, don't matter if you liked him, don't matter if you were directly on the fence, right? But due to the fact that Kevin Samuels is no longer here, now you have a multitude of different people trying to all vie for that position. They're all going for, it's a power struggle, right? And who is the best person out here to, in a sense, come in and go towards a power struggle, to actually get that power and actually hold it, right? And actually hone their skills in order to get it? A white woman. She's done the exact same thing that she has been doing since the inception of white men having power. And what did she sit up there and do? She had a racist directly on her show, interviewed him, laughing, jaw jacking, ha ha, he, yada, yada, yada. And then when she ends up going to a white platform and they grill her and they question her, they ask her, how come you didn't sit up there and, question him? How come you didn't give any pushback or anything like that? She was like, oh, well, my crew, right? Because she's referring to the Africans that she has there, or whoever, my crew, none of us really felt that he was racist or anything like that, and yada, yada. But his content. You're not just, as a content creator, let me just let people know this. As a content creator, people know who it is that they want to have directly on their platform, because they know that if this person carries a certain type of light, a certain type of fire, that's going to bring attention directly to the content. It's going to bring attention to the platform. That's going to bring more eyes that might not know about the content there, right? So she knew exactly what it is that she was doing. She did it for a very specific reason, right? And she got exactly what it is that she wanted. Either good or bad, the main thing that they always sit up there and tell you about publicity is that it's always good. Doesn't matter if it's good, bad, or ugly. Publicity is publicity. As long as people are talking about you, that's all that matters. And that's exactly what she's getting too. So she's getting money hand over fist. While she came through, right, took literally a fist and gripped that whole community. And she wanted to showcase that by like, hey, I got some black people working with me. Hey, I got some Africans working with me. Hey, this is the type of thing that I'm into. So then black people are welcoming her in. And they're like, okay, well, this seems to be like one of the good ones. She's good. She's great. She has black people, around her. Black people would happen to know if somebody is racist or if they have alternative motives, yada, yada, yada. Obviously, people didn't. Or people just weren't paying attention or didn't care to because the money was actually good. The money was actually great. And then after she took that stronghold, that grip, she then formulated that into a fist, and then that fist turned into a hammer, and then she brought that down on the exact same community of which she built everything directly on and shattered it. And now look at the aftermath. You have yet again another fractured part of the black community that was already fractured. You are literally watching on YouTube as we speak at this moment in time. If you are into that atmosphere, you're watching different sections of people who were once collaborators, who were once together, right? Who were once, doing stuff. No matter if they disagreed or not, coming together, sit up there and formulate content, everybody's making money. Now people are literally breaking apart and picking sides. And because of who? Because of who? It's the same story time and time and time again. And now the real aftermath of that, just like how Pearly things rose up, what's going to happen now is that you are going to have brand new divestors rise up, right? And these are not going to be the older black women who are hurt for whatever reasons, either because of their fathers, either because of the husbands that they were married to, the boyfriends, or the baby fathers, whatever it is. It's not going to be any of them. It's going to be the younger generation of black women who are on the fence, who are like, I'm not really too sure, yada, yada, yada. All they got to do now is piece together the content in such a beautiful form and format. And now you're going to have brand new content creators of young black women being divestors and pushing the younger group away from the younger black men and black men in general. It's a beautiful thing. It's so much of a beautiful thing. It is crazy. It is crazy. It's crazy. So like I said, shout out to the divestors because y'all win. Y'all got it 100%. I, as a black man, it's nothing that I can sit up there and say. Nothing I can sit up there and say. And I can sit up there and say, like I said, y'all got it. Y'all 1000% get it. Yo, so and I just want to sit up there and say shout out to a lot of those black men out there. I'm not sure specifically what y'all thought was going to take place with this woman and everything, but some of y'all need to, I don't know what y'all got to do. Y'all got to do something. Y'all got to do something because this is looking crazy. Because at the end of the day, the main thing that we always state is that what? Black men are supposed to be the leaders, right? So where is that leadership now? Where are the black men to basically pick up and to fix this and to correct all of this in order to make it right? Where are they at? Where? Because it ain't nothing happening. It ain't nothing happening. Like I said, realistically, we would need a whole nother group of black men to really spearhead the a whole brand new initiative. Realistically, I'm just saying, like you would need married black men with families. And you would need the black men who are dating black women in order to do this, because you can't depend on nobody else to do it. Like I said, it's cool that, guys out there that got their opinions and stuff, but if you are a black man that is for the black community, you are for that unification, you want to see that nuclear, type of family, all of those things. Um, you need black men that are actually dating black women. You need black men that are actually interested in black women, that actually love black women, that are actually married, relationships, that got kids, and all of those things. You need that, because you can't keep dealing with the same old, because it's ain't nothing happening here. Like I said before, you're not seeing realistically nobody come out here in a leadership position to like basically take the forefront, to take all of the blame, right? And be like, you know what? I'm going to sit up there and do my due diligence to fix this. I'm going to work with X, Y, and Z, and we're going to start sweeping the field. We're going to start doing this. Like I said, you just got a whole bunch of people, whole bunch of black men out there. Jesus, take the wheel. They just sitting back. Jesus, take the wheel. They're just waiting to see what's going to set up there happen. So like I said, shout out to Pearly Things. You did exactly what you were supposed to do. You did two things, actually three. You came into a spot where you weren't even supposed to be at, and you made money. You collaborated with black people because black people allowed it, and they let you directly in. Number two, you came through, and with that same, platform that you made money on, you shattered this whole system amongst black people. So yet again, we already had a divide again, with black men and black women. Now that divide is the goddamn Grand Canyon. That's pretty much what it is at this moment in time. And it came from not a sky daddy, but a sky mommy. She just came through there, through a lightning bolt, and it made a 10.9 earthquake that pretty much shattered a continent. Shattered a continent. So like I said, I'm pretty interested to see how this is going to be looking 6 months to a year. I'm pretty interested on how this is going to look 6 months to a year from now. Because at this moment in time, it ain't looking good. It ain't looking good. Like I said, I feel like through the fallout, you're going to have a lot of people trying to rebrand. Oh, this is the other thing I want to sit up there and say too. To the black women out there that are still with black men and actually care, to a lot of those female platforms, much love, appreciation, and shout out to all of you guys. It's quite a bit of y'all. I can't really list everybody off the top of my head, but I just want to sit up there and say that just in case y'all just don't happen to get it. Because you do got black men out here. We watch from the background, behind the scenes, and we do appreciate and love the fact that you do love and do care about us, and you do use your platform to speak on a lot of topics that need to be spoken upon. But you know that if we were to sit up there and say it, there's going to be a whole bunch of pushback. There's going to be a whole bunch of deflection and drawback. So use your platform so that those same people that want to run their mouth or want to deflect, they can't do it there, right? Because you're a black woman representing black women, and you're speaking directly on the topic. So automatically that is going to come across different, or that if people want to argue, they got the right one. And also to a lot of those women, the things that have necessarily taken place to the platforms that you are or were a part of, you didn't deserve any of that to sit up there and take place or happen. That shows the lack of loyalty. And yet again, that's going to be something that the divestors are going to generalize and overwhelmingly say that, these are the black men out there. They're not loyal. If you want proof, look at the black men that run these platforms. Look at these black men that say that they are high value men, that they get these women and these women and these women. Look how they speak about black women. Look at how they speak about, potentially their own daughters and yada, yada. That's, like I said, this is it's crazy. It's crazy. It is. It's 1,000% crazy. And I am not too sure at this moment in time how it's going to be possible or feasible for black men who genuinely want to start a platform talking about black love and the black family, I'm not sure if they were to start right now, I'm not sure how successful that would even be because of all of this fallout. Due to the fact of those groupings of black men there that decided to either cape, that wanted to support, that want to deflect, chances are those platforms, those black men that want to focus on black families, black women, black kids, and all that, right? And they want to try to take that leadership role, and they want to show by not just talking, but with action. I'm not sure how those platforms would even fare right now. Because at this moment in time, if there are black women that were attached to a lot of those platforms that are part of this fallout, I'm pretty sure they're going to be a little bit reluctant on trying to go out on a limb and support a black man or black men. And like I said, I can't even be mad at it. Can't even be mad at it. Like I said, I've watched a lot of content from a variety of platforms, a variety of channels for years. I'm talking about to certain instances, I would sit up there and just like fall asleep and wake back up looking directly at that content. Right? On breaks, in between making videos, I'm sitting up there perusing and looking at other content, listening to what people are sitting up there saying, taking in everything, looking at, how black people are sitting up there moving around, how they associate, and all these other types of things. Right? And for the most part, I was like, hey, these platforms are technically, I might disagree with certain things, but overwhelmingly, I like the platforms. Why? Because you have black people working with black people. You got black men making money. You got black women making money. I'm like, all right. And look where we are. Now, none of that means nothing. It means nothing. All because one person came through again. Like, I'm just trying to figure out, when is it that black people are going to sit up there and realistically pay attention and learn? If this, let me make y'all understand something. If this is not going to sit up there and make y'all pay attention to how it is that you got individuals out here that will come directly through and they'll stay there for a minute, and then at any moment in time, they'll go off like a ticking time bomb and just crash the whole building. If this does not show you, I don't know what will. Like I said before, black people will literally allow any and everybody into the conversation just because. And for what? For what? What bearing, what reasoning would a person like this have to be able to speak on the relationships in between black men and black women, or to even be within the same circle of that conversation? For what? She don't really have nothing to add to it. She can speak on being a woman, but she can't speak on being a black woman. She can't speak on being a black woman being in a relationship with a black man. She's looking from the outside. So she can only theorize and go off of certain things that women do, and then try to throw that into the conversation when it deals with black women and black men, black men and black women. Other than that, people from other communities, this is the way I'll put it. At what point in time do you see people of other communities? When have you ever saw the Asian community allowing Caucasian people to roll up and to speak on things that are primarily going on with the men and women in that community, their relationships, their marriages? I can't point it to you. When has the Jewish community allowed black people to come into their conversations when it deals with their communities, when it deals with their women, when it deals with their men? I can't give you any. Matter of fact, when is the last time that black people were asked by white Americans to come directly into their community topics and conversations when it specifically deals with the white man, the white woman, and the white child, that white household, the white nuclear, family? I can't list it to you. But for whatever reason, black people will just sit up and they will allow all of this to take place. And not only that, they will allow these same people to yet again make money left and right directly on. Did we already complain about black people not being? Matter of fact, I'm sorry, not we. Didn't I sit up there and have conversations in live streams with you guys, even listing my own life and how it is that it was like, hey, we got all of these jobs and whatnot making, money directly off of us, of course, white stuff that we can't sit up there and do, right? I don't even got a piece of mail. But if you got a piece of mail, you look at your name in all caps, you know, that straw man, all that good stuff, right? Again, that's another entity making money off of you where you can't even make money off of your own name, right? Everybody's able to make money off of you, but you. Pearly things made money off of black people. See how that works? But yet she made the most money, but how much was everybody else that was black that was there? How much were they able to make the same amount as her? Were they getting the exact same light as her? Was she propelling them above her, right? Being the savior that she is, was that what she was doing, right? The second coming of the Virgin Mary, was she propping up, that black baby Jesus? Was she doing that? Like I said, oh, you said, so what we got here, then, is this a pro or an anti-pro channel? Well, you can figure that one the fuck out for yourself. Now, with what I just listed to you, you can, like I said, if you want to roll through here, you want to try to ask some dumbass, smart ass questions, you can go right the fuck ahead and find out. We can do that today. Like I said, I got my bottle of water. I am ready for some shit today. I'm with the shits. Let me tell you something. You can fuck around and find out. Like I said, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're a man, woman, a sheep, goat, a doorknob, the bottom of a shoe. I don't give a fuck what you are. You roll up here talking stupid today, I promise you. I promise you, you will be finding out real quick. Real quick. But anyways, like I was saying, because we got a lot of Johnny come latelys that want to roll up in this bitch at some point in time, which don't make no motherfucking sense. Let me just explain something to people real quick. If anybody in the background wants to jump stupid, we can clearly do that at this moment in time on this live stream. We can clearly sit up there and do that. If you don't know how to fucking read English, I need you to go right the fuck back to school. If you graduated school, you got your diploma, return that bitch. If you got a college education, return that bitch, because obviously you didn't learn how to read. Obviously you didn't learn how to read. You shouldn't, matter of fact, whoever gave you, allowed you to even have a cell phone, return that bitch. You shouldn't even have it. Matter of fact, you shouldn't even be on the internet at this moment in time if you're going to pull up and ask a dumbass question. Just letting people know. Just letting people know. Like I said, if you feel that Seji is caping for the white woman here, that you feel that, Seji is one of the coons and he's an Oreo and he's masquerading, I guess you can fuck around and find out directly in this live stream. I will pull you directly up here in this bitch. We can have that conversation. We can have that conversation. And another thing, the most funniest thing is when you got people that want to question, a lot of times it's people that ain't really sitting up there doing shit that want to sit up there and question other people. That's the most beautiful part. And 9 times out of 10, it's always people that normally don't want to show their face. Like how when I'm talking about this whole topic, I'm actually showing my face. A lot of these other people normally got jobs and shit, right? So they can't exactly associate in a sense with platforms, meaning I'm not talking about subscribing or anything like that. I'm talking about them going out and actually showing their face on the platform, because that's going to be a bad look. Because if anybody at your job was to see that, hey, you were taking part in this platform, wait, we looked at this content. This is not actually, a part of our brand. This is not what we're about. Guess what? You're going to get your papers. See, that's the difference, like I keep stating, in between me and some of the people that just want to roll up. You know, I'm just sitting up there stating. That's the difference. That's the difference between people who want to just so happen to question me and be in the comment section versus me actually showing my face. Case in point, just like with all of the content that I've sat up there and done and stated, is the fact that irregardless of whatever people disagree with the words that I've used, the words that I've specifically stated, I'm saying everything directly from my heart, how it is that I feel. So it don't matter if somebody from the LGBT feels a certain type of way. I'm not apologizing for shit. It don't matter if I stated things about black women and some black women got hurt feelings. I'm not apologizing for shit. It don't matter if I sat up there and stated things about black men. Me also being a black man, using myself as an example, I'm not apologizing for shit. It doesn't matter if I said things about black kids, black elders, the black community, any of that shit. I'm not apologizing for shit. So you got the face here that you can clearly see. That's not apologizing for shit. Like I said, there's a clear-cut difference. Clear-cut motherfucking difference. Hopefully people will actually remember that. Oh yeah. RJ, remember, let me put that up there for some of the people that might not understand. Yeah. And that's bars. That's what happened to the first channel. And when I did a video specifically talking about divestors, they tried to do that to the second channel. And I'm not apologizing for shit. So, it is what it is. People can disagree. People can not like me for my opinion of what it is that I have to state. But at the end of the day, I'm going to be unapologetic. Don't give a fuck what relationship you're in, what you identify as. If I see things as a problem, I'm going to critique it. And I'm going to list these things as a motherfucking problem. Because as I stated to people before, I completely understand where a lot of other people, I'm talking about the people that watch me from the background, that are supportive, and the people that are actually here that have been on both platforms that have been supportive. I understand that a lot of y'all got jobs. I understand that a lot of y'all, work for somebody else. And you can't afford to say the things that you want to sit up there and state. You can't agree upon the things that you specifically want to agree upon, because you know that that might be a bad reflection and that might do something to what it is that you have to do on an everyday basis, meaning your job. So I'm here. This is why I talk and I say the things that I state, and I give proof. It's like, hey, if you happen to say these things about a certain group of people, guess what? This is what's going to sit up and happen. So if that just happened to me, just having a platform, what does that then mean for those out there, for those black people out there that want to say something, but they're afraid to say something, but they know that what happened to me, that can happen on a bigger scale when it deals with their job, when it deals with their livelihood, when it deals with that paycheck, when it deals with them putting food on the table for their kids, for their family, taking up that house, making sure that that car is running. Like I said, that's why I stated there's a clear-cut difference in between me being here, showing directly my face, versus people that want to critique and be directly in the comment section writing shit all day. It's a clear-cut motherfucking difference, because some people are built to do shit, other people are not. Some people will take those risks knowing what the fuck is set up there and take place. Other people are not. So this is why you stay in the comment section watching my shit from the background, not liking any of my content, not agreeing with any of my opinions, but you make sure to bring your ass right the fuck here if I happen to go live or I post a video. It's the difference. You come to me, I'm not looking for you. Okay, you hurt my soul today. You know what, Kay? It's a beautiful thing. Let me shout out Kay, right? This is one of the greatest fans. Just like when I talk to y'all about things that take place, this is one of the greatest fans. I've highlighted her in quite a few videos, right? In certain instances, we've agreed to disagree. We've might even agreed, right? And I'm like, yo, so this is a woman and she got Prince Vegeta, right? As as the image. I'm like, yo, she gotta be dope, right? Damn. Breaking my heart. He's crying hard today. I see why you have all that smoke for black women. First time seeing your face. Now, Gail and Tippy, who have been here for the longest time possible, and some other people as well. Jacob, he's been here. I think actually Jacob was on some live streams. There's actually a lot of people here that have been a part of the platform that have seen me during live streams. So I'm a little bit confused on somebody who said that they watched the content, that they've subscribed and they've watched the videos and understood it. I'm a little bit baffled and confused on how it is that you state that this is your first time seeing my face. Right? So then she wants to state that, yo, black people in the comment section. I gotta make sure to, show the poor hairline here in my face when I sit up there and do this. This is what a lot of them like, right? So they can happen to get that view, right? She said, he just told y'all he disses black people with zero remorse. Another fake pro-black. Hold on, wait. So let me reiterate this, right? So you mean to tell me, no, don't kick her out. Leave K in here. No. Leave K in here. Leave K right the fuck in here. Leave her in here. Please do. Please do. Please do. Please do. So you mean to tell me that the content that I've done when I've talked about and referenced black men and young black men, and I've stated how it is that I grew up, I talked about my mom, I talked about my grandmother, both of my aunts, the four black women that are, in a sense, the pillars for me, who are my standard. When I look at other black women, I compare those black women to the black women that raised me, right? Went through college. Grandmother was married. My other aunt, she went through college. Mom went through college. My other aunt went through college, right? Women who are nurses, right? Women who are taking care of people. Women who have taken care of families. So when I happen to speak, I'm coming from what it is that valuable black women instilled in me and taught me. They showed me exactly what and who black women are. So if you hear me actually talking about and critiquing black women, it's because I have a ruler, right? And that ruler is the black woman that sat up there and raised me, that actually cared about me, right? That actually looked out for me, that raised me, right? The black women that I have conversations about when it deals with these topics, right? Especially my mom, who is black, who works directly in the nursing field, and she worked amongst other black women. And do you know what she says about other black women when they're working? Their uncouth behavior, how it is that they slack off, that they're late, how it is that they don't want to pay attention to authority when it's a black woman telling them something. But when a white woman or a white man comes through, oh, now they want to, they want to buck up and now they want to start doing what it is that they're supposed to do. How it is that black women are in these nursing fields and they're asleep on the job. They're not taking care of the patients, meaning your parents, meaning the elders in a community or elders in other communities. Like I said, I can keep going on and on and on, but more than likely what I'm actually going to do, because of comments like hers, I'm just going to bring my mom on at a point in time, and I'm going to allow her to speak. Because as I stated before, this is why I gave credit where credit is due to the black women that are directly out there, that are supportive of black men, that love black men and want to be in relationships with black men. They want to see that nuclear family. So that's why you got a lot of those black female platforms out there that I do love and I appreciate. And it's a shout out to all of those women. To all the other women, I don't know what to sit up there and tell you. Because again, this is the main thing that always takes place and happens whenever it is that, I don't know, somebody has an issue, with the content. But, like I said, it's a little bit baffling to me that if, you have an issue with it, if you have an issue with it, you technically really shouldn't be here, right? Let me just list a person real quick, right? And this is something I don't normally happen to do. And I'm going to list the Queen of Queens, right? Cynthia G, right? She is one of the main women who have a platform on YouTube where she consistently either goes by numbers, she goes by stories, she lists a lot of things dealing with black men, right? And I said not too long ago in quite a few videos that at one point in time, I was actually subscribed and I was watching a lot of these different women, right? And it reached a certain point where I was like, you know what? I get why it is that they're doing their content. They're free to have their opinion along with the other black women that happen to subscribe and follow them. No problem. The same way I showed up to that platform in silence is the same way that I left. They don't even know that I was there or if I was there at all, right? The only way that people would actually know is if I vocally actually say it. And I was there because I'm like, hey, black woman, he's sitting up there talking. It's like, all right, let me see. It's like, you can sit up there and talk to me, stuff like that, right? When you happen to see, black women on social media, you tend to actually gravitate, right? And then it gets to a point where you hear the content and it's like, maybe this ain't for me. Maybe I came in at the wrong time. You're just looking around, you're trying to find the exit. You start looking through the live stream comments, you start looking through the normal comments, and it's like, yeah, I ain't trying to do it. This ain't this ain't for me, right? So like I said, I leave her content directly where it is, right? She has her job. She has her mission. She is doing what it is that obviously black women out here want her to do, want her to specifically speak on. So be it. I'm not going to roll up into her live stream. I'm not going to roll up underneath her comment section and let it be known to her that, hey, I disagree with your content. I don't like how it is that you're talking about black men and young black boys. I don't like the generalization and da 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 da. I'm not going to do that for what? What does that matter to her? It doesn't. Is that going to change her content? Fuck no. So again, K Brown, all of the stuff that you've been stating, is that really going to change my content? Nope. No, it's not. It's not even going to matter. It's not even going to matter at all. Yeah, let me go back to that again. Yeah, we got somebody that was here during the gaming live streams. Like I said, people have seen my face, so it baffles me. Like I said, this is when I know that people pick and choose the things that they want to watch. That basically shows me that, like I said, we got a brother here who was like, yo, I've been here during, the what's the name, right? And we got RJ. He was like, yo, I've even shown my face before. Like I said, baffling. K5 said, yo, it's okay. K5 says she's trolling, but I left her second comment for you to see. Hey, like I said, leave K in here. She said, I'm out. Y'all are on one today. I see where you got your hatred of black women from. Sad. We're not a month. Yo, see, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm sitting up there talking about. Like, it's, it'd be the most hilarious things that that people have to say. Wait a minute. Well, Kay, I thought you said that you were out. Right? You said you were out, and then at like 9:58, you wrote like another comment. Kay, what's going on? Woman, make up your mind. What you doing? You said that I hate black women, right? Which means that if I'm framing this correctly, right? You're a woman that says that I hate black women, which means that you have to be a black woman or potentially a black woman, right? So then you said that you were leaving, and then you still stayed in here to leave another comment. I'm a little bit confused. I'm a little bit confused. How is this happening? How is this? And this is the other thing too. Some of the women that I've seen that have showed up here have stated that they are married, right? So again, I'm a little bit confused on why it is that you would even be concerned about my opinion as a guy, as a black man, random dude out here on these streets, these YouTube streets, a little bit confused, right? You know, just a little bit confused, right? But as I stated before we ended up getting into the distraction era, right? Now, this is my main thing. Oh, who is that again? You back up here again talking about, bro? I'm not exactly sure who the fuck you are. Let me tell you. I mentioned Pearly things earlier on in the earlier on part of the 45 minutes. You can scroll back through the live stream and you can happen to hear that if you would just so like to, right? I'll talk about it when the fuck I want to talk about it. Now, the main thing that I'm stating here to the black community, right, is this: when is it ever going to come to a point in time that as a community we come together for beneficial means, right? Meaning that we're building, meaning that we're making money, meaning that we're actually contributing to each other. We're actually investing, right, into each other. Because, like I said before, Pearly Things rolled up and she destroyed. And now, looking at, I watched, some of y'all might know who this is. It's a young woman by the name of Six the Goddess, right? And before she was technically on YouTube, I knew about her on IG. I knew about her on Facebook, and she has a lot of dope content. Right? I respect the way that she moves. I respect what it is that she is doing for Black women. If Black women don't know, she has a Black woman only Patreon that she is teaching Black women the tools and the tips in order to become better Black women, in order to be, like better girlfriends, better wives, and different things of that nature. She went over that in a live stream that she had just about like yesterday. I was in there probably for about um, I think an hour or two. Also, if Kid Gravity is here, shout out to you, brother. I saw you. I saw you on a live stream looking for that plate of food, brother. I was right there with you. I'm like, yeah, man. It's like, yo, that plate sound good. I might have to sit up there and roll out $10 real quick, so I can get a plate too. But you got her, and she was explaining how it is that a lot of things were taking place, and you had another Black woman up there. I want to say, hopefully, I don't mispronounce her name. I want to say Danica. Hopefully, I did not mispronounce her name. I hope is it Danica Marie? I think. Hopefully, but if you happen to go to Six the Goddess channel and you happen to look at the live stream, you'll see who it is that I'm talking about. And it was like, and the craziest part is, you still had a Black dude up there that rolled up to the live stream. He's like, so Six, I don't mean to offend you or anything like that, but do you really feel that Chaotic was really trying to sexually harass you with the comment that he made, even though you specifically, talked about his underwear first? Bro, that's not the same thing. She literally stated to the dude, don't get your panties in a bunch. She was like, hey, don't get your tidy whities in a bunch. She's not talking about the size of anybody's package. She's not insinuating anything like that. It's like, yo, don't get frustrated. Don't get too tied up. You're worrying a little bit too much. That's what she's basically stating. Versus a man directly coming out and asking her, like, yo, so what color are the panties that you're wearing right now? That's sexual harassment. And I'm just really trying to understand, as a Black man, how is it possible to see another Black man literally ask a Black woman, are you sure that man really meant what you thought that he meant? the the amount of baffling, like if y'all could, I wish I actually had the clip so I could show you what it is that I'm talking about. When I mean to tell you that my jaw hit the floor and I was baffled at the buffoonery, at the question that was even being asked. That didn't make any sense. Out of all of the things that she's talking about that she is going through, right? That she has heard, right? That she basically has to see how her name was getting thrown through the mud and all of this other type of stuff. She listed one thing about sexual harassment, and that's what you want to sit up there and roll up and defend. And then the funniest thing is you're defending a guy that's not even Black American. Now, again, I've sat up here on this platform. You can peruse through different live streams or different videos that I've covered or whatever. I've agreed with people at certain points with people I disagree with, right? But not at a point in time am I going to sit up here and decide to question a Black woman about if what I actually heard was really what was actually meant and directed towards her. If at any point in time, just to be realistic for any of the guys out here, just in case you might be a little bit confused, if your daughter basically told you that a grown-ass man, or even a man in general, just came up to your daughter, or came up to your wife or your mother and asked like, yo, what type of panties you got on right now? You'll be out there real quick. You'll be trying to find that dude. Let's be honest. You would try to find who the fuck that dude is, because you know that's disrespectful. You know what that's alluding to. You know that's devaluing that woman into a certain thing. You're going to be going automatically into fight mode. Like I said before, but to automatically see that dude do that and not sense that he's in the realm of wrong is stupid. So like I said before, when divestors want to roll through and they want to start tearing apart content, they're going to be very specific. It's going to be laser precision. And they're going to be picking out a lot of those areas where dudes like that have come directly through these platforms and said these things to these Black women. And that's going to be more ammo in that drum that they just going to be letting go indiscriminately. And all because of what? One woman. But like I said before, I give credit to Pearly things, because more than likely what happened here due to her, what is around her at this moment in time, it needed to happen. It needed to happen. Because now people should be able to clear cut see, with as much space that is out here at this moment in time, where people are, where the lines are drawn, who is siding with who. Like I said, and it's going to become even more clear within the next, like I said, give it another few months, 6 months to a year. You're going to see the true fallout, right? You can't really see anything right now because you got all of the smoke and you got all of these mirrors and all of this and all of that. When the radioactive fallout, you're going to see who is actually left. You're going to see who's going to come directly out of those bunkers and who's going to do what it is that they're supposed to do and who's not. You're going to clear cut see that. But like I said before, I don't know really what else to sit up there and tell, Black people. More specifically, I don't know realistically what to even say or to tell Black men. I don't. I really don't. Because this is 1,000% trifling. 1,000% trifling. And this is the main, let me go back to the whole aspect of like the divestors, right? They always state that, yo, Black men, you guys are not loyal. You guys will never defend us. You're not there when we actually need you to be there. You're the ones sitting up there affecting us in this negative type of way. You guys will always cape for and protect everybody else that doesn't look like us in order to go against us. Can I sit up there and basically state that they're wrong in this instance? Nope. Because what am I looking at? If you go online and you happen to type in anything dealing with Pearly things, you'll see black men either against, or you'll see loud ones clearly for her, defending her, deflecting. Like I said, it don't matter what she stated on her platform. She could have basically said things about slavery, right? She could have, oh, slavery wasn't that serious. Slavery wasn't this. Slavery wasn't that. And guess what? You're still going to have those black men out there defending her. Isn't that what the divestors just so happen to talk about? So isn't that, in a sense, showcasing that they're right, even though those black men are not a clear-cut representation of every black man out here? It's hard trying to tell people to differentiate between black men when you're dealing with people that are, in a sense, hurt and that never really healed from anything. So when they happen to see one black guy, or 4 to 5 to 6 or maybe 10 black guys defending a white woman such as Pearly things, no matter what she basically says, it's hard for them to, in a sense, differentiate those 1 to 5 to 10 black guys from the rest of black men, right? Because those black men have the loudest voices. Those black men have platforms. They're able to move, right? They're able to shake some trees and different things of that nature. And like I said, the only thing that's realistically taking place at this moment in time is that the divestors are being proved a 100% right. And it's at the fault of black men. I'm not even going to blame Pearly things, because none of this would have taken place if black men would have been like, hey, I ain't working with her. Hey, I'm not about to sit up there. I'm just going to sit up there and be my, hey, I'm just going to stay to the side. Like I said, it's going to be a lot of suffering. There's going to be a lot of suffrage. It's crazy. It is 1,000% crazy. And let me just correct. Let me just go back over something when I'm listing protection, right? And this is the main thing that I've been raised, and this is the main thing that I've been taught as a black man, that you protect the women that you love, right? So that means the women that are in your family. That might even mean, let's say, maybe a close, family friend, or your wife, or your girlfriend, or your fiance, your daughter. Women of that caliber, right? Women that you 100% know. I'm not stating that as a black man, you can automatically go out. If you want to, you can clear cut do that. I'm not sitting up there telling you not to. But when I think about protection, I'm thinking about the protection of the women who have been there directly for me, who have directly, in a sense, protected me, right? When I was younger, they might have, protected me or whatnot from a lot of different things. They might have sheltered me from a lot of different things, right? They might have enabled and gave me, right, a lot of things, right? Those are the women I'm looking at like, yo, I got you. I'm going to do everything within my power, even if it's my last t-shirt, my last dollar. I'm going to do the things that I need to do in order to benefit and protect you, right? Because a lot of times I happen to see the comments where people are saying like, hey, I'm not about to sit up there and protect, all black women. I would never sit up there and recommend, let me just put this to an even playing field. I'm not recommending all black women try to protect all black men, because you got a lot of black men out here that don't deserve that type of love, focus, and protection. And I'm not recommending all black men to sit up there and do the exact same thing for black women, because you got a lot of black women out there that don't deserve that love, focus, and that protection. Like I said, when I happen to do things, I try to do it as evenly as possible, because we are at a point in time where things are completely uneven, completely slanted. And I'm not about that life. Like I said, a lot of women out here said that they want equality. I'm all about that life. I'm 1,000% about that life, right? So again, for anybody that might be a little bit confused, when I've done videos stating, and no, I've done videos where I've talked about young black men committing crimes, and black men in general committing crimes, either shooting, robbing, whatever it is. And I'm like, hey, yo, throw them all in prison, throw them all in jail, round them up. I'll sit up there and get pushback from people in the black community, like, man, no, we shouldn't be throwing away, our people like that. We need to sit up there and help them work through this. We need to do the same thing that the white man does with their community. They don't just sit up there and throw their people away. We need to do the same thing as the white man. But I'm like, I'm not white. I don't have privileges. I don't have any type of power. I didn't make this society. I don't write the rules, the laws, the regulations. I'm not sitting in a lot of these seats in a lot of these cities and towns, right? I'm not doing that. I'm not the one that's able to write or decline contracts in my city and stop people from getting jobs or being able to bank. I'm not able to do that. So if I see a problem that is specifically dealing and coming from the black community, I'm going to touch on that topic. I'm going to talk about it, and I'm going to give the best solution that I can. Like Dr. Umar Johnson sat up there and said, he can't psychologicalize all of these young black men out here that's running around the streets, that's sitting up there running rampant, killing, robbing, and stealing and pillaging. Some of them going to have to get put down for good. That's what he said. That's what he said. And when I first saw that clip, I originally laughed at it because I'm like, yo, this man is a fool. But now after doing this content for so long, now sitting up there reflecting and thinking about, going back to high school and everything like that, I'm like, yo, he's right. Because I've seen some of the dudes that I grew up with and they went to high school. One of the brothers I had to do a story on, and I knew that guy. I literally had conversations. I had the same classes. I walked down the hall with this dude. He was a quiet dude who did his best to mind his own business, but you had some people that wanted to mess with him. And, he had to sit up there. He had some fights in school, right? And I sat up there. I had checked on him one time when I saw him like in a fight because he got into a fight. He ended up pushing his knuckle back because of how hard he hit the dude. And I was checking on him, making sure that he was all right. I'm like, yo, man, I'm sorry that happened to you, whatnot or whatever. I think he had just recently ended up losing somebody during that time when he was in high school as well. So he had a lot of emotions, like running through his body, right? And that just culminated, to that point. And then years later after high school, I'm sitting up there doing the content that I do. And now I'm doing a story on a classmate, on a schoolmate. How he sat up there and ended up taking the life of somebody over a garbage can in Detroit. That broke me. Because I'm like, other people don't know, in a sense, who he is, in a sense. Like, I say it like this. I knew him during that time. I might not know the man that he is right now. Like, a lot of things could happen. A lot of things, more than likely, obviously, did change. But I know technically something more than a lot of the general public because I was actually there with them going to school, having conversations. And it's like to then have to do a report on a black man that you in a sense knew and to now see him like, yo, he took the life over an argument dealing with a garbage can. The only thing I could sit up there and say was like, yo, I'm like, yo, bro, just turn yourself in, man. Just turn yourself in. Don't have the police trying to sit up there and run through houses trying to look for you. Don't have people trying to hide. Just turn yourself in. There's been a few stories that I've had to do dealing with the black community that it's like it hits way different. So like I said before, when I happen to go over those stories that I'm dealing with black men, and I'm also throwing my own hat in there, even though I'm not a part of, hey, I'm about to go out here and start fighting. I'm about to sit up there and start this, and that. I'm repping this, and that, throwing up gang signs, throwing guns and all. Like I said, SEIJIHITO never said that he was the hardest nigga out here in the streets. I ain't never say that. I never said that I'm gang affiliated, anything. Never said that. Never said that I'm sitting up here knocking niggas out left and right. Can't no nigga see me. I'm the strongest. I've never said none of those shits. The main thing that I've tried to do from the perspective that I've had is, again, try to list some of that correction. Trying to throw out some of that leadership. Trying to throw some of that stuff directly out there. Even if the black men don't listen, I'm still going to be throwing it out there in hopes that the younger black men will actually listen. Right? Because at no point in time should there be a gap where you have older black men and young black men in the exact same box doing the exact same things. When I was growing up, you used to sit up there and have like OGs and different things of that nature where they would put things were separated. There were laws, rules, and regulations that people had to sit up there and follow. You stepped out of line like they was going to sit up there and deal with you. But now the OGs are now like 18, 19, 20, 25, 30. And I'm like, that's not even an OG, realistically. OGs are usually like 40s, 50s, 60s, like people who have been doing stuff for a long time. Dudes who are a part of it. And then they were like, yo, I'm retired. I want a family. I want to do different stuff. I want to do this. I want to do that. I don't want to do that no more. Like I said, I done watched a lot of videos from older black men, OGs. I'm talking about in the gangs, Bloods, Crips, whatever. And they sitting up there trying to guide a lot of these young dudes, but like, yo, this is not what it is. This is not what it's about. You don't want to sit up there and do this. You don't know, like, stop paying attention to these movies. Stop paying attention to these rap artists. Stop paying attention to all of this. Like, if you come here, you come here. That means that once you're in here, you're in here. Your life is on the line. That's it. It ain't no running. It ain't no going back to being a normal anything. Once you are in this, you are in it. Like I said, a lot of these kids don't understand that. They don't understand that their life is going to be on the line. They don't understand that their family's life is going to be on the line. They don't understand that their community's life and the life of their kids is going to be on the line. They don't understand the fact that they're not going to have healthy relationships at all. They don't understand that. They don't understand that it's nothing but death and destruction. So when I sit up there and do those videos and I touch on those things, I get yet again pushback from the community because Seji is a L7. Seji is a square. Seji is a nerd. Seji is a geek. Seji ain't actually about or for that life. So therefore, Seji can't sit up there and talk about that shit. That's what I've had black men tell me. Right? They'll sit up there and tell me like, yo, man, you shouldn't be talking about this because, you're not really in that area. You're not in that arena. You don't know nothing about politicking and da-da-da-da. Well, nigga, guess what? You ain't saying shit. You ain't creating a platform. You've been in and out of jail, in and out of prison. You've been disruptful. You've been taking down the community, taking down your other brothers, more than likely taking down some of the sisters as well, also selling drugs to the community, to the elderly, to the young, to the babies, to pregnant women. But yet you don't want me to sit up there and speak on this shit because I'm not of that culture. That's crazy to me. I might not be of that culture, but I was around it. I've seen it. I've seen the effects. I've seen what it's done. I've seen black men that I played ball with in and out of jail, out there selling drugs, out there in gangs, getting beat up, some of them dead. But yet I can't sit up there and speak on it because I'm not a part of the culture. But yet you're not speaking on it because you're going to be like, well, I ain't no snitch. I ain't about to, talk about street shit and all this other type of shit. So then what does that now mean? That there's a gap in the lack of black male leadership because you're not going to sit up there and do it. Right? Because you would also be incriminating yourself by talking about certain shit, right? Because you know that the ops, aka the opposition, you know that also the police and the government is also watching as well, just like they watching a rap artist. So they waiting for you to start talking so that they can sit up there and try to indict you or link you to something else because you might slip up and say something that you're not supposed to say. You might insinuate some stuff that might link you to A, B, C, and D, and you ain't necessarily trying to be linked to nothing. So then you ain't going to talk about it. So then when a brother like me try to sit up there and speak about what he saw in the community what he has been around and the effects of it, y'all sit up there and tell a nigga like me, nah, don't you can't talk about that, bruh. You ain't about that life. You ain't from the streets. You ain't built that way. You ain't cut from that cloth. So like I said, and I'm going to say it again, irregardless on how it is that I come directly to this platform, black people will always have pushback when it comes to me because I don't fit that certain thing, right? I'm not of that thing that, in a sense, people want to listen to, right? If it comes to, certain black guys out here might be in and out of jail or prison or whatever it is, might be in gangs and all this other type of shit. I can't speak on that culture, those things, because I'm not of that. I never did a bid. So I don't have the understanding. I don't have that their mentality. I've never been in a gang, so I don't understand gang culture. So yet again, that's something that I shouldn't be talking about because I'm misrepresenting and I'm talking all this other type of shit. But again, y'all can't lead yourselves because the only thing that y'all doing is leading yourselves to death, and you leading the younger guys that are following and looking up to you towards death. So again, where's that leadership at? That's all I'm asking. Where's that leadership at? Where are all of these black men that supposedly are the leaders that have been through all of this shit to, in a sense, push these young black men into better things? Where are all of these black men at to push these young boys into trades, into cybernetics, right? All of this drug money that y'all sitting up there getting, why don't y'all, in a sense, clean that money? Why don't y'all start up something that's actually beneficial to the community that you're destroying every single day, that you're drugging up every single day, that you're robbing every single day, that you're murdering every single day? Why don't you actually do something? Because you know the funny part is, this is why I give credit to other cultures, right? Like I said, and this is not me trying to condone any of the nonsense or whatnot or whatever. But again, where is it in what is it, South America? You got the gangs down there, like case in point, what they had in I think, what was it, like Call of Duty, right? They had an area that they were sitting up there going through, and you literally saw the gangs policing the community, taking care of the community, right? They were at the ice cream stands and all this other. They had guns toting and everything, letting you know, like, yo, hey, we're protecting this area. This is our area. You ain't coming to do nothing here, right? And if anybody did try to do something, guess what? They will leave a message right there for anybody else that thought that something was going to take place. Where is a lot of that protection in the black community? Because you know the funniest thing is, and I gotta say this in a certain type of way. A lot of these black men that are the most hardened ones out here that claim that they can take any man, can't no man see them, and all this other type of stuff, and they got bodies on bodies on bodies on bodies on bodies on bodies on bodies, right? Where are these black men at where their guys are sitting up there getting taken out by the real enemy? Where are those black men at? Because I never seen them. You know what? Let me bring up something that a lot of people might not understand. Let me just take this to a whole nother extent. Everybody remembers the pandemic, right? And when during the pandemic, there were rules and regulations, right? Specifically in New York. I had just recently had this conversation, right? Everybody remembers New York is a city that never sleeps, right? During the pandemic, New York was asleep because wasn't nobody moving that night, right? So I'm just a little bit confused. If we got hardened thugs and criminals, right, that run the streets rampant in New York, right, as which is supposedly shown in the media, right? They're doing stuff left and right. They're sitting up there robbing people. They doing all of this, right? They're lawless, right? How is it that during the pandemic, the main lawless people, the main ones that are affiliated with this, that, and the third, how is it that they became law-abiding citizens? Why weren't they still congregating on the streets, on the corners? Where did all of these hardened dudes go? Right? And that's when I sit up there and try to tell people that you got to realize that some of these people that you see on the streets that's hanging out, that that we perceive, that we might assume to be gang members or whatnot, that they're more than likely cops. Because to my knowledge, people who are not for the law and people who do not believe in the police, they're not going to listen to anything that they have to say, including the government. But yet you didn't see none of these people out there on the streets. You didn't see them trying to sit up there and play music. You ain't see them just out there like kicking it, having fun. You didn't see them in front of like the block. You didn't see them like on those stoops. You didn't see them in front of a bodega. You ain't see none of that. It was a ghost town. So again, I'm just asking, where are these supposed black male leaders who are more hardened, right? Because as some people have considered me, it's like, yo, Seji, you're just a beta. Stay in a beta place. You're soft. You're not built for this line of work. You're not built for these streets, right? And I'm like, you know what? Whatever people want to brand me is completely cool because I value my life. If me, in order to, in a sense, be able to speak on topics means that I gotta be like gangsta, I gotta be sitting up there sagging my pants, I gotta be toting a gun illegally, I gotta be selling drugs, I gotta be getting mad bitches and all this other type of shit. I gotta do the most degrading things to myself and the community in order to be able to speak on topics and to, like, quote unquote, be an alpha and all this other type of, y'all niggas can have it. I value my life. I value being able to do the things that I'm able to do. I value being able to actually talk about topics and not having to worry about incriminating myself or people that I'm around. I value that. I think it's dope. So I sit up there. I stay a geek. I stay a nerd. I stay a gamer. I will, L7, all of that. I square, just in case I couldn't properly sit up there and do it. Some people might get it, whatever. You know, I'll stay that square. I'll do that. I'm fine with that. I will be that for the rest of my life, knowing the fact that I'm going to live to a ripe old age, right? I'm going to see grandkids, right? I'm going to see generations, sit up there and grow. My life ain't going to be ending at 21. My life ain't going to be ending at 25. My life ain't going to be ending before 30. So, like I said, I stay in that box while I'm sitting up there doing stories, and I'm watching time and time and time and time and time and time again of black man after black man after black man after young black man after young black man after your son after your son after your son after your nephew after your nephew after your grandchild all die, all perish, all fade away, to be forgotten, to never have no type of legacy except for death and destruction, going in and out of prison, not doing anything respectable in the community. I'll be that for the rest of my life. I take full responsibility, acceptance, and acknowledgement of that. If that means that it will allow me to talk about the stuff that I need to talk about dealing with the black community, I'll be that. I'll be that. So, you know, like I said, I don't understand it. I don't really get it. To the black men that I've showcased to y'all, even on the older platform, that have wanted to, physically, fight me and all this other type of shit. Shout out to y'all, because like I said, you're on your way out anyway. So I get it. I understand. You got that bravado, you got the ego, you got that pride, you got something that you want to sit up there and prove to whatever bitches out here that you be sitting up there getting, whatever hoes out here that be giving you attention. I get it, but I don't care. Like I said, I don't care. Like I said, um, so it's like, I do my best to talk on that, and the same type of mouth that I have directly on those topics. And when it comes to a lot of those individuals, that's the exact same things that I sit up there and say when it comes to black women committing crimes in the black community. Like the stories that I've done, we've had black women sitting up there shooting another black woman over an argument or just over a simple hit, pulling out a gun in an Uber, bow, giving her to Alec Baldwin real quick, killing a mother and 3 kids. I talk about those stories. I'm not getting outraged. I'm not getting people like K Brown to sit up there and show up and start trying to say shit. Right? I don't sit up here and get it. People overlook those stories. But they want to show up to the stories where they feel like, oh, Seji's talking about the divestors. Seji's talking bad about black women and their selective choices and what it is that they want to date. And why are you so mad as a black man? If no. I'm like, it's not the fact, again. People might have it a little bit misconstrued. Not the fact that I'm mad. It's the fact of me showing a little bit concern that I actually have left for the life of black women. because you have a lot of black women that happen to think that, hey, if I go out, if I do this, this, that, and the third, then ain't nothing bad gonna happen to me. Ain't nothing bad. Like, you see what's happening to black women with black men? That's the worst of the worst, right? So if that's the worst of the worst, if I go over here to a whole nother man, it has to be the opposite, right? And I've done stories showcasing that's not the case. I've then done stories to try to do a back to back so that people can understand. I've shown black men having either the lives of their kids or their own lives taken by white women. And the main people that happen to show up are the ones that might potentially have an issue with black men that would normally come at me in a negative way when I do videos about black women. Oh, this is the one where they start rubbing their hands together like Birdman real quick, and they want to start typing in the comment section repeatedly. Now they're watching the content. But when I happen to showcase the exact same thing, it's dead silence. It's dead silence. So, like I said, I don't know what to tell people, man. So let me just put up that picture again. So this is all going right back to the thing, dealing with this woman here. So speaking on all of that, and now circling right back to this, everything culminates to a singular point where you have individuals that can spot and they can see a problem, they can see a gap, and they can see a hole where they can fit. They'll slide right up in there and they'll make problems even worse. And that's specifically what she did. I just listed to you all of problems that we have in the black community, things that realistically that need to be fixed, things that should be the focal point, right? But it's not. And again, when you happen to go to a lot of these platforms, the topics really ain't, in a sense, about the community. It's about a generalized thing, because a lot of platforms know that, hey, if you happen to focus on and talk about the black community and things that we should be doing that needs to be done, you're not going to get a lot of views. I'm just going to be honest with people. I've stated this myself. If a black content creator stays fixated on the black community, wants to give solutions to certain situations and problems, you're going to have those out there amongst the black community that are going to fade out. They're not going to want to watch the content anymore. They're not going to want to pay attention to it anymore. They're not going to want to listen. But I promise you this, though, this is the funniest thing, right? If Pearl decided at a moment in time to start trying to speak on what it is that black people go through, in a sense, from an advocacy standpoint, you would have so many black people roll up and be like, yo, you know what she did originally was wrong, but she's doing the right thing right now. You would have a lot of black people. You would have even more black people than before come through and subscribe to her. And I can bet you money on that's exactly how that would happen. Because at the end of the day, black people have a white savior complex. White savior complex. And it's crazy. It's crazy at the end of the day that this is where we are. Matter of fact, let me just show you how crazy this is, right? And this is touching on the fact of everything dealing with Pearly things, right? And this is something that I've covered before. More than likely, this will sit up there and demonetize some things. I'm just trying to, give me a second. I'm trying to specifically find it. So this is dealing with Nat Turner. I'm just going to read this to you real quick, right? And again, this is dealing with Pearly things yet again, right? Because this is the example, right? They said that many whites feared that Nat Turner would literally rise from the grave and rebone himself. This is how some have explained the gruesome cannibalization of Nat Turner after his death. William Sidney, a member of the Southampton community, documented in the Southampton insurrection of the 1900s the exact methods of punishment and postmortem abuse of Turner's body. According to Sidney, after Turner was executed, Nat Turner, his body was delivered to doctors who skinned it and made grease of his flesh. Mr. R.S. Barham's father owned a money purse made of his hide. This desire to literally possess Turner's flesh and make use of his body calls to mind the homoerotic of Neil scenario, with Turner's flesh serving as a fetish, the symbol of corporal possession. The money purse made of Turner's skin and the grease made from his boiled down flesh convey the limitless consumptive use of the slave and the myriad of ways in which the ruling class could impose their desires and the taste for Negro flesh. Blacks of Southampton community further complicated this erotic of taste through accusations that whites ingested Turner's boiled down flesh as a medical substance. William brought all of the suppressed homoerotic and consumptive history to the fore with the publication of the Confessions of Nat Turner, 1968. Right? So, within that, you were able to hear what Caucasians did directly to black people, their slaves. Right? Anybody who wanted to revolt, anybody who felt a certain type of way, they became cannibals, and they started to eat them out of fear that if they allowed the body to rest in a grave, that somehow, some way, that body was going to reanimate itself, and it was going to therefore start another, issue and a problem, right, on other plantations, right, that those ideals were still going to be in existence, right? So they made sure to destroy it. Right? So then you go back to the Black Panther Party. What did they do? They destroyed the Black Panther Party. You go back to the feminist movement, right? When black women were placed directly there to be a footstool for white women in their success, which they still are at this moment in time. And the same thing is sitting up there happening. You think about the fact of the system and how it was created to break apart the family. It's still doing that. Matter of fact, because I've had some people actually push back when I've stated this. I'm trying to see if I can actually get this. Let me see if I can get this video file real quick, because I had some people actually do some pushback, right? And when it dealt with the system,
the man in the house rule was written to prevent welfare cheating, to make sure that aid to families with dependent children would go only to families headed by mothers. But the effect of the man in the house rule is to create for children an atmosphere of investigation and surveillance, and thus the welfare system in its operation turns out to be a system to make life harder for children.
The welfare system helps the disintegration of the American family. It offers money to families if the fathers will leave them and stay away, in that sense undoing the very stability of the family and taking away one of the two parents that children, of course, need. And what I have seen, I'm afraid to say, all over the country is that the legal system works against the best kind of home for these children.
Right? So you heard specifically right there, and that was coming directly from a Caucasian man. And like I said, this is not a new video. This is not a new video, right? And you were clear-cut able to hear specifically what was stated. I was actually trying to get it like a side-by-side thing. So you were able to hear specifically what was stated directly in that video. Just in case, right, let me just put myself back on screen real quick. Just in case people didn't hear me, because like I said before, I'm going to do my best to put the information out there because I understand that a lot of people don't want to happen to listen to a black man say it. You need a white man in order to educate black people, in order to educate the black community. So again, I'm going to let the words of that little snippet, in a sense, speak. Right?
Living.
The man in the house rule was written to prevent welfare cheating, to make sure that aid to families with dependent children would go only to families headed by mothers. But the effect of the man in the house rule is to create for children an atmosphere of investigation and surveillance, and thus the welfare system in its operation turns out to be a system to make life harder for children.
The welfare system helps the disintegration of the American family. It offers money to families if the fathers will leave them and stay away, in that sense undoing the very stability of the family and taking away one of the two parents that children, of course, need. And what I have seen, I'm afraid to say, all over the country is that the legal system works against the best kind of home for these children.
So again, we were all able to hear that. So if anybody wants to happen to argue with me when it comes to talking about the welfare system and, you know, all this other type of stuff, you want to try to tell me that it wasn't, you know, used in order to break up the family. Like I said, you just want to believe what you want to believe. You just want to believe what it is that you want to believe, you know, at the moment in time, which is completely cool and completely fine with me. Right? Matter of fact, we could sit up there and take it to a different extent. Let me see if I can find, this is another one. And
he's just there to be Cashapp. That's all he's there.
Hold on. So this is the context. I'm going to have a video basically talking about this, right? So this video, this little 30-second clip that you are about to listen to, it was originally talking about Star Wars. Right? Originally it was talking about Star Wars, and then somehow, some way it leaned, because it was still dealing with Star Wars, it started dealing with black men. Right? So listen to what these white men had to say about this quote-unquote agenda that is taking place and going directly after black men.
He's just there to be Cashapp. That's all he's there for. That's literally all he's there for.
Well, if it's the black man, yeah, they have to make him gay because they always make the black man gay for some reason.
Feminine. Because you can't have masculine black men. That's why.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah, they're scary.
You got to cut them out of the China posters.
Yeah, and I mean, and that takes a lot of Photoshop time.
Jay, which of these new Disney Star Wars projects are you looking forward to the most?
Right? So hopefully, again, you guys were able to hear what was stated. These men on this panel that were talking about Star Wars specifically told you what? That there is an agenda against having masculine black men directly in front so that everybody can see. They told you that there are those out there trying to make sure that they feminize black men. That they make sure that these black men are not seen as men. Now, Grape, I'm not even worried about the Chinese. I'm not even worried about the Chinese. The Chinese, they're doing what it is that they're supposed to be doing. I'm not even worried about them. I'm focused on what it is that these white men set up there and stated to all of these black people. They sat up there and told you that there was a system in place, that there was an agenda taking place specifically targeting and attacking black men, demasculating them, feminizing them, not making them, not placing them in that leadership position of strength. Right? That's what they sat up there and told you. Right? Let me just, matter of fact, let me make that a little bit bigger. Let me just play that again.
He's just there to be gay, Shad. That's all he's there for. That's literally all he's there for.
Well, if it's the black man, yeah, they have to make him gay because they always make the black man gay for some reason.
Feminine.
Because you can't have masculine black men. That's why.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah, they're scary.
You got to cut him out of the China posters.
Yeah, and and that takes a lot of Photoshop time.
Jay, which of these new Disney Star Wars projects are you looking forward to the most?
Right? What was that? Oh, let me roll this back. Eric Garlaza. I'm looking at your last name. What community are you a part of again? Let me just fill me in on that. Fill me in on that, because when I think about my last name, it don't sound nothing like that. No disrespect to anybody of the Spanish speaking community. But when you decide that you want to sit up there and like open your mouth and you want to start talking some type of shit, and you want to sit up there and say that the black community is no different than any other black community, that's when we start having a problem, because you're looking a little bit ridiculous. Looking at your last name, you might want to sit up there and specifically speak on and talk about your very own people. You might want to sit up there just in case. Like I said, what was the last name again? Garlaza. Like I said, I'm American. It's hard for me to sit up there and get the pronunciation down. My apologies. But like I said before, it's looking a little bit weird there, sir. Because if I happen to speak on the community, that the Spanish speaking community, right? Because I try to generalize, because I know that not everybody's from Mexico, not everybody's from Argentina and all of these other places, right? So I try to do that to at least encompass, right? To not be disrespectful, right? But the only time I happen to speak on that community is due to the fact that they happen to say something or speak negatively in a certain type of way when it deals with the black community, right? And the funniest thing, I'm glad that you're here, because I think I might have a specific example that I can just so happen to use you for, right? See if we can get this presentation directly up here. See if I can actually find the video file that I'm looking for. Give me a very quick second here, right? Because as I stated before, it's kind of hilarious and funny to me to see people of other communities who want to directly speak on, the
people
black
don't understand
community,
when I say
right?
that Mexicans.
So we're just gonna take a look at this video, right? What does it say? It says racist Mexican culture, right? And I'm just going to use this as a generalization, because we know that when it comes to other cultures out here, that they are very much anti-black, right? That they have a problem even when it deals with Mexico, right? The Mexicans there, the lighter complected Mexicans, have an issue with the darker, more melanated complected Mexicans. I've done videos also talking about how in South America, historically, when you look far enough back, how the South American government had allowed an influx. They wanted an influx of Europeans, millions of Europeans, to come directly over to South America in order to whiten it. Let me just put my face on there so you can understand what I'm saying. The South American government allowed an influx of Europeans to come directly over to South America in order to whiten it, which means what? That automatically and also inherently, you have a nice amount there that have an internalized hate for melanin, that have an internalized hate for themselves, well, at least the darker complected versions of themselves. So again, I'm very happy that you showed yourself here, Mr. Eric Galarza, because we're going to sit up there and play this clip, because you want to sit up there and run your mouth and try to say some things about the black community. I think it's about like a 4-minute clip, maybe. I'll play it a portion of the way through. maybe, right? So here we go.
They think that I'm calling us openly racist. We are culturally racist, and this is how. Part of our culture is to frown upon dark-skinned people. It's been passed down to us by the Spaniards, by our colonizers, by the people that conquered us, taught us that dark skin is inferior, light skin is superior. We were taught that. It was passed down to us, meaning it's part of our culture. We are culturally racist in this aspect. That doesn't mean I go out in the streets and want to hurt black people because they're black.
Right, right.
It means that our teachings, the way we're raised, is that we are raised to subconsciously believe that dark skin is inferior and light skin is superior. Another element in our Mexican culture is Univision News, Univision Channel. That channel is run by white Latinos. The ideologies and subliminal teachings that they teach is very similar to Fox News. White supremacist-ish. They make efforts to depict dark-skinned people as criminals, that whenever they even bother sharing news about dark-skinned people is when they do something wrong. But yet, when they want to mention anything that has to do with light-skinned people, specifically white people, is to depict them as them doing good deeds around the world, feeding the homeless, etc. You get it.
Yeah.
My grandmother was visiting one day from Mexico. She's never lived in the United States. She has no idea what life is out here. She was watching Univision News, where they depicted a black American committing a crime. She turned around and said, "Oye, estos negros solo estorban, ¿verdad? Hey, these black folks, all they do is get in the way, huh?" Here's the interesting part. She's never met a black person in her life. She has no idea what it's like to interact with a black person, but yet she already has an opinion about black people as a whole. Why? Because part of our culture, in this particular case, Univision News, since we were children, we have been subliminally taught the blacks are bad, criminals, etc. And whites are good, decent, giving, saviors, etc. We're taught that. Hearing her express such a hateful remark about a people that I knew for a fact she's never even interacted with. You don't even know a black person. How dare you come here to this country and have a whole opinion about these people? I resented her deeply for it. I regret it because you can't hate her for that. She never got the opportunity to learn what you have. I got the privilege of learning things that I self-taught. Since she's been a child, she's been working in the fields, never had the opportunity to sit and read a book to educate, nothing. All she ever has to teach her anything was this racist, biased news program. How could I blame her? She doesn't even know any better. And even if I sat with her today, I don't even think I could help her understand at this point, because she has lived 80 years worth of only understanding this mentality. A lot of people go to their graves thinking this is normal.
All right. So I think it might be still running because a little bit. So who was that in the comment section? Because I always got somebody rolling up to try to correct me. Robin Ann Battle. I don't know who you are, but that sounds pretty white to me. I need you to have several seats somewhere. Even if you're not white, I don't even care. I need you to have several seats somewhere. You understand what it is that I was stating. I know the differences in between countries and continents. I sat up there, I might have misspoke, might have misworded, but you knew exactly what the fuck it is that I'm talking about. You ain't have nothing else to sit up there and say, but try to sit up there and correct that. That's the most whitest comment I done seen today in this live stream. like I said, I don't know what the fuck is up with y'all. Y'all don't want to say nothing about the actual topic. You don't got nothing to actually add to it. You don't want to talk about the fact that white men are sitting up there listing the fact that, yeah, there's an agenda against black men. And the system is basically attacking them in order to demasculate them and all these other types of things. Don't have shit to sit up there and say about that. Don't have shit to sit up there and say about Pearly things and the things that she stated about the trying to put Africans versus Black Americans versus Africans, right? You're not going to say shit about how she was talking about, oh, well, the Africans that I work with and the other Black people from, the diaspora, they're serious about the job. They're either on time or ahead of time. They're very, they're punctual. They're very just, they're there. But, on the other side, it's like, they might be late. They might not really take it serious. This, that. Like I said, this is why I listed a lot of the things that I talked about earlier, especially when I was sitting up there, listing directly from the book, right? Because this is the same aspect that white America showed black people before when it came down, and I said this before, when it came down to Will Smith and Chris Rock, right? Chris Rock is the good Negro. Will Smith is the bad Negro. That's what it was. And what did black people do? All over the place. Everybody picking sides. Just like white people pick sides. And note, white people were the main ones that loved Will Smith. And look how they turned on him when they was like, oh my God, wait a minute. Beth, hold my heart for a minute. Is Will Smith black? That was literally America when this happened. They magically came to the realization. They knew that Chris Rock was black, obviously. But they were like, oh my God, Will Smith is black? I didn't know. Not that I don't see color or anything like that, but Jesus Christ, somebody could have told me that this was a black man. And yet again, white people came directly into that discussion. And they did what? They sat up there and split apart the black community. Why? Because the black community allowed it. Why? Because we still go to the Oscars. We still go to the Emmys. We still go to these white award shows to receive these white accolades, which realistically they don't account for or mean anything. When was the last time that Denzel Washington technically received a high award? I think he did, recently? Did he? I'm not sure. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, right? But when was the last time that Denzel Washington received an award for playing Malcolm X? Anybody? Somebody help me remember. Right? But I think, didn't he get something for like Training Day, or he got like nominated or something? Right? He had to play like a bad cop. My nigga. Right? Calling a white boy a nigga, right? Right? Having a turn and flip on his community, all this other type of stuff. Right? The black man being the fixture of the story, but he ended up being the villain, and then the white boy ended up being the good guy. Damn. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? Shout out to Solid. I don't know why it hasn't changed yet. He is still up there as the boss meter. I'm not sure why that is, but shout out to Solitary for subscribing directly to the platform, and also shout out for the donations as well. Like I said, there's been a lot of successful, black people, and they really haven't won awards. Didn't we just recently see Angela Bassett lose? Didn't we see that? And didn't we see how what was the Asian movie? Everything Everywhere All at Once. Let me see if I can get a picture so people let me see. Everything Everywhere All at Once. Yeah. Let me get a picture of that movie, right? So now remember, Angela Bassett is a damn good actress, right? But for whatever reason, she ain't really winning no awards. And I'm talking about the woman she gives in a sense, her all when she is specifically on these films, right? So let me just put this up there just so I can give people a point of reference, right? Didn't this movie that came out, right? This is the Asian community, which is cool. You got your own stuff out here, got your own people basically representing and everything of that sort. Didn't recently the cast sit up there and win awards, and then they magically came back, and then everybody won awards, like even people who were like side characters. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but then we got Angela Bassett, who has for decades been sitting up there putting her life, like blood, sweat, and tears, directly on the floor whenever she acts, not getting nothing. And she lost out to a woman that is only known for Halloween. What? Excuse me? Like, I mean, she might have some other movies, but realistically, I know her just because of Halloween. She had a movie with Arnold, before, and some other things. But you're gonna tell me that she outacted Angela? All right, whatever. But like I said, everything culminates directly into this main thing here. Pearl, being the woman that she is, was able to come directly into the black community, yet again, split it apart. Again, Will Smith and Chris Rock sat up there and had an agreement that could have happened elsewhere, but it happened directly in front of all of the eyes of white America. And white America was just like, oh, we can't sit up there and have you Negroes doing this, you slaves. You can shuck and jive, you can dance. That's great. You're not about to be doing mandingo fights in front of us. We're not having that. We're not having that in our house at our award shows, especially when we're not telling you to do it, right? Because it's completely fine if white people tell black people to sit up there and fight and win a fight. They're completely fine with it. But if they're not refereeing this was not something that they automatically established, they ain't trying to see that. And they said that and they showed it. So again, and this comes in when I've sat up there and what is it? I sat up there and did a video dealing with the fact of how it's funny how the academies or whatever, they wanted to ban, Will Smith for years or whatever it is, however they wanted to sit up there and do it, right? But yet they have how can I say this nicely without trying to trigger some stuff? You have people that are part of the academy that I've done stories on, that really, love the kids. They really, 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 when I mean really, I mean really, they love the kids. And you also got some of those men there who have specifically went after women in a different way, fashion, or form. And again, these are people that are on the board. These are people that are part of the academy that make the laws, the rules, and regulations. So as I stated before, you got serious things, or I'm sorry, you got allegations that are taking place with people that are actually a part of the academy that don't look nothing like me. And then you have Will Smith, who had an incident and he gets banned, he gets reprimanded, all of these other types of things. White America just hates his guts now. They just threw away that Negro. It was like, you're no good for us now. You're not the good Negro we thought you were. Go back to the Fresh Prince, right? They did that whole thing, right? Had a whole bunch of memes and all of that. And again, going back to the Black Panther Party, black people allowed it to happen. Going back to the feminist movement, black women allowed that to happen. So it just seems that black people will just allow any and everybody to do whatever they want to do when it comes to the community, right? But when it comes to a moment in time that Caucasian people happen to speak on the black community, right, and they're talking about certain things, magically the black community wants to have people in with welcome arms, right? So let me just go back to one of those videos that I had showcased before, right? And as I stated before, it's very interesting, right?
Bloody mind today.
So this is one of the videos that I had posted before, right? And the most interesting thing about it is that a lot of the things that this man stated, I've heard this from a lot of other black elders. I've heard a lot of these things, right? I've heard this from my own black family. I've heard this from other black leaders. I've heard this from the Honorable Minister Farrakhan, right? I've heard this from a variety of people even before I was born. The information is directly, out there. But oddly enough, it seems funny to me that the black community doesn't want to listen to that. But if a white face just so happens to tell you exactly what it is, magically everybody is gung-ho and everybody wants to accept it. Everybody wants to listen. And this is one of the main things that I just so happen to talk about. And I literally stated this several times directly on my platform. And yet here we are. The showcase of black people having the white savior complex, where we are accepting of what it is that white people have to say, even though black people have been stating this for the longest time possible, right? But then in the same breath, we'll sit up there and get mad when somebody like Pearly Things will come along directly into a black content creator section, make a place for herself and take a seat because we allow her to do it. We allow her to take that seat, and she makes money directly off of us, like white people have been doing, like we've been complaining about for the longest time, when it deals with this country and the image of black people and yada, yada, yada. And then we get mad when they sit up there and leave and destroy it. They do scorched earth directly on the whole thing. And we want to sit up there and get mad. And now black people are sitting around looking stupid, sitting up there fighting each other, going back and forth. We got so many things that need to be focused on. Realistically, this should not even be one of them. But it is because black people allowed it to take place. Because we believed in what it is that face was sitting up there telling us. We believed that she had the best interest. We believed that she had the type of honesty and love. But then we found out by who it is that she is around, who it is that she does business with. So like I said, again, I'm not even mad at what it is that Pearl did. Keyshawn said Pearl has the same manager as Candace Owens and Ben Shapiro. If that is 1,000% true, again, I'm not even mad. I'm not even mad. Like I said, she's doing what she has to sit up there and do. And again, I'm trying to showcase this, of course, to black women, because these are the same women who gave you the feminist movement. These are the same women who pushed this and told you that, hey, black men are the problem. The same things that white men are doing to us, black men have been doing the exact same things to you. We're sisters, so we got to come together. And we got to fight this great evil so that we can come up and rise together. So my question to black women is, how many black women have Pearl directly put up on a pedestal and built platforms for? How many black women has she given the limelight to, passed the ball to, so that they can become brighter than her? I'm just wondering. I'm just asking a question. Just asking a question. Right? Because like I said before, at the end of the day, whenever I happen to look at, situations, and I talk about the community, when it comes to like this situation here, because very easily what she did, I could have very easily seen a black woman doing it, having a platform, being ultra successful. And no, this is not me stating that you don't have black women doing it, because you do. The problem is that we don't want to support our own. We don't want to love our own. We don't want to push them up. And I'm talking about both. You got black men and you got black women in conjunction together that don't want to uplift and propel their own people doing the exact same thing that these white content creators coming into black spaces are out here doing. But the black community don't want to talk about that. Like I said, how much blame can I really sit up there and put directly on her? I could put a little bit. Not a lot. I could put a little bit, because overall, the blame is directly on black people, again, for allowing her directly in this space. Why is it that black people can't seem to work together in order to propel each other to create platforms so that things like this don't have to happen? So that we don't have to rely on people like Pearly things in order to get certain messages, or for us to have these safe spaces in order to come and talk about things. Nobody wants to talk about the black people in that problem. But we want to sit up there and realistically get on Pearly things. Well, realistically, we the problem. She just highlighted it. She came in there and saw where she can monetize and be like, hey, I'm about to break this apart. I'm about to show y'all what it is. I'm about to make money hand over fist. And I'm going to shatter this shit, and I'm dipping. Like she said before in other videos, she got an apology coming. She going to be saying some things, you know. That's cool. Like I said, I don't need an apology. If you show me exactly who you are, that's fine. That's cool. Like I said, I know who you are. My problem is that it's not still registering with black people. That we keep going through the same circus time and time and time again. Somebody left a comment on one of my videos where I think they quoted P.T. Barnum, where he stated that there's a sucker born every minute. And that's the black community. Every single time we got a face like Pearl show up, it don't matter if it's a white man or a white woman. This is the thing that takes place. This is the thing that happens every single time. And then we're just godsmacked when it's revealed to us that they were the same as the previous people. And then once somebody else comes along, we welcome them in with open arms. But you know, the funniest thing is, let one black person do something that the black community don't like, y'all throwing them away. Y'all automatically throwing them away. It can be the smallest, the most minute of things, throwing them away. You're automatically siding with white people on what they deem to be good or what they deem to be bad. Again, we have a problem within these spaces, within the social media spaces, of black people not supporting other black people. We'll go to other people's platforms and be like, yeah, man, I would support X, Y, and Z, but, I don't like the way that they were sitting up there talking. I don't like the way they sitting up there moving. I didn't like this video. I didn't like how they was talking in this live stream, and da-da-da-da. They not the same no more. Crazy. It's crazy how black people want to sit up there and start talking about other black people. Crazy. And then you want to turn around and wonder why it is that you don't, in a sense, have a lot of black people that are in these spaces trying to do certain things, that's trying to propel certain, arguments or saying the things that need to be said. That's because y'all ain't trying to support it. Ain't trying to support it. Like I said, it's crazy. I done seen this even before I had a platform. I done countlessly seen this. Right? Let me take it to the standpoint of something that I know about, just in case we got some people out there that's like, yo, man, you can't speak on these. I'm a gamer, right? So even when it comes to content creation, I'm looking at black gamers. I see a lot of gamers that do content. They're working. They're striving. They're doing the things that they're supposed to be doing. And I'm not seeing black people fluctuate to them. I'm not seeing black people trying to sit up there and make them the next big YouTube gamer, right? But you got black people, they'll go to like PewDiePie, they'll go to like Ninja, they'll go to like Markiplier, they'll go to like all these other like YouTubers, right? All these other white male YouTubers, and they'll sit up there and subscribe to them. They'll donate to them. They'll support their platform. They'll support their Patreon. They'll do all this. They'll even share their content with all of their black friends. But the moment in time when it's one of yours, the moment in time when It's your own family. The moment in time when it might be even a friend, you ain't sitting up there doing that. That's crazy. That's crazy. Yo, shout out to the brother from South London for subscribing to the platform. Much love, respect, and appreciation to you and yours. Like I said, that's a problem. That shouldn't be happening. Again, I'm not mad at what it is that she did because she did what she was supposed to do. She came in as a conqueror. She came in as a destroyer. She came in as an owner. Black people at no point in time realistically should even be mad. Because remember the whole argument that that people got mad at Kanye for when he said slavery was a choice? The same thing applies here. The people that decided to work with Pearl decided to work with somebody either knowingly or unknowingly, beknownst to them, that ended up finally showing their face. She has somebody that was racist directly on her platform. So therefore, if this is somebody that you associate with, if this is somebody that you align with as Pearly things, then that means that your belief system must be wrapped around or in some type of form, shape, or way in an agreement with what it is that he is stating. Even if you might not agree with everything that he is stating, you agree with some of it, and that's the problem. So like I said, I cannot get angry at her for having that guy directly on her platform. He did his job. She did her job. The only people not doing their job is the Black community. This is why we got so much finger pointing. This is why we got so much blaming. This is why we got so much fallout, because it's showing at the end of the day that no matter what we sit up here and do, no matter how we sit up here and talk, we're still divided as a people. The same way that we've always been divided. We could put up this facade. We could sit up here and say like, yeah, we're really sitting up there making some strides. We're really sitting up there doing this. We're really sitting up there doing that. One white woman literally showed you all of that was a goddamn lie. And then Black people got the nerve to be mad at her? Huh? We allowed it. Now, as somebody stated, somebody said some. You're correct. Some of the Black community allowed it, right? I'll pull back on my generalization because, again, as I've stated before, you have Black women out there that have their own platforms. They didn't want no parts of Pearly things. They were not even about to have that take place. They weren't even about to sit up there and have it happen. They were like, deuces, I'm not doing this. So like I said, kudos to y'all for basically seeing exactly what it is. Having, can't even consider it hindsight. You just have future sight. Right? The same sight you have, that's what the Black community needs to have. I'm not sure if you can teach a course or a class. You need to start teaching a lot of Black people that type of sight, that type of perception. Because obviously Black people always talk about how we're good at reading the room. Nobody read anywhere. The main thing that they always told us is what? If you want to hide information from Black people, you put it in a book. I don't know what book they put Pearly things in, but let me tell you, it was well hidden because ain't nobody really read it. It might have been somebody that spotted that book that was like, oh, that one right there. Everybody else is like, nah. Let me just skip over that book. I ain't trying to read that. Now, note, I listed a generalization and a stereotype, but it fits directly for this specific instance. And I did it again for a very specific reason, to showcase the fact that we didn't pay attention. We didn't read the room. And it is what it is. Now, Miss Lady said, so what can we do to fix it? The same things that I stated before. The main thing is to fix what is going on internally with Black people. For Black people to start to heal themselves, because for whatever reason, I can sit up there and say that white people have helped to breed mistrust directly into Black people. You can list colorism, you can list slavery, you can list a variety of these things, right? No problem. I understand with the past, you have to, figure out the present and the future, right? Without the past, you don't have a future. I get that, right? But The focus that I'm on at this moment in time right now is the fact that even when you deal away from all of that, even when you deal with your own families, let's be honest, right? Let me make sure you see my face. Even when it deals with your own black families, you have people in your family that you don't want to associate with just for a small reason. You might have had a disagreement or an argument about something like 10 to 5 years ago. You don't want to work with them. You don't want to break bread. You don't want to start a business. You don't want to associate. You don't want to talk to them. You don't even want to utter their name, because that is the type of hatred that you have for that person just for that one thing. But yet the police do a multitude of things to black people, but yet we still sitting up there calling them. The EMS have done things to black people as well, but we're still sitting up there calling them. The morgues have sat up there and taken our people and sold our organs directly on the black market, but yet we're still calling and going to them to try to plan funeral arrangements. The hospitals, after they've practiced medical racism on black people, black women, and children, have done things and are still doing things at this moment in time, also teaching it in certain books, which I've highlighted directly in previous videos and or live streams, but we're still sitting up there calling them and making appointments. So we can have mistrust, no faith in our own families over the smallest things, but we always get up here and talk about how racist America is and all this other type of shit, but yet we're still going to the fast food restaurants that treat us bad. People are still going to the beauty shops and the nail salons. We're still going to the supermarkets, right? Restaurants, I probably added that again. We're still we're still partaking in a lot of these things. We're not working together as a community, or at least the like-minded ones out there. We're not really working together as we should be, like every other nation out here, in order to propel our people forward. We're sitting up here still waiting on the government to give us reparations from slavery, when realistically, as I stated before, I sat up there and put up a stat, and this is clear-cut dealing with black women. Matter of fact, let me just showcase this. Let me get off Pearl for a minute. Let me get off of this for a minute, right? I ended up hitting the wrong button, right? So there was, I got another video that's going to be coming up for y'all, right? Hopefully I actually got the image. Let me see here. Let me see. So one of the main images that I have, obviously it's not up here. All right, let me see. Right, this is just an example, right? Right? This is an example of what I'm talking about, right? Goldman plans to invest $10 billion in order to support black women. Everybody can read that, right? So I don't want, anybody thinking that I'm just trying to make some shit up and all this other type of stuff because I hate black women and all this other type of stuff. Nah, I don't got nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with that at all, right? But the problem, matter of fact, let me show the other image, because the other image is way better, right? So this has to do with a video that I'm going to be bringing to y'all in a minute, right? And you can clearly see exactly what it states. I'm just going to make sure to take my face out of it so y'all can just see all of the information directly up there, right? It says you got a multitude of stories, right? Black women's wealth is 90% lower than white men. Goldman Sachs is investing billions to change that. Another one, Goldman plans $10 billion initiative in support of black women. Another one, Goldman Sachs to invest $2 billion in black women owner businesses. The first chapter of a bigger plan, right? JP Morgan Chase commits $30 million to help close the wealth gap for black and Latina women, right? Now, in between all of that information, you see some information that is highlighted in the red, right? This is going to the whole effect of how it is to fix certain things, right? So just dealing with this one situation here, you have people investing money into black women. But how much money are black women investing into themselves? Let's look to the bottom, right? They stated that the global black hair market was worth $2.5 billion in 2020. Each year, black women spend billions of dollars on beauty and personal hair care products. Black women spend 9 times more on ethnic hair products than non-black consumers on both genders. Black dollar makes up 85.7% of the ethnic hair and beauty market. Black consumers spend $54.4 million on ethnic hair and beauty products out of the $63.5 million in total spending on this category. In 2018, Black consumers spent $473 million on hair products, which is 11.3% of the sales for the $4.2 billion hair care industry. In the last but not least, the tippy of the top of the iceberg, the cream of the crop, Black women spend $1.1 billion annually on wigs, weaves, and extensions. So if Black women spend $1 billion annually, so that means that, let's say, go back up to Goldman Sachs, right? They said that Goldman Sachs invested $2 billion in Black women who own businesses, right, for a bigger plan. So that means if Black women at any point in time wanted to invest in themselves, Black women all across America could basically take off for about 2 years, put that money, that $1 billion, into a trust and formulate a bank or what have you. In order for Black women to have a Black-owned female bank where women are working, where Black women are able to go in order to get the money that they need, in order to facilitate a house, child care, in order to facilitate, let's say, any vacations that they might need due to the fact that they are pregnant, them wanting to buy a house or a car, them wanting to start up a business, a college fund. So the reason that I'm pointing this out is for the very specific reason that if the Black community wanted to realistically do something, we could actually do it. It's the fact that we don't want to. We would rather complain about what it is that is not being done by a group of people that have, in a sense, put us in a certain type of position. Also, I want to give a shout out to the probably about the 10 people who dropped off of the live stream when I started putting up the stats and the information directly up here. That's the normalness that takes place. Whenever I start doing this, people want to start dropping off. Like I said before, Black people state that they want a solution, but they realistically don't want a solution. Like I said, every single time I do a live stream and I start going into stuff like this to further prove a point, it also proves the point that Black people don't really want a solution. They don't really want leadership. They don't want to be told what to do, because at the end of the day, Black people feel that they know what is best for them. Black people don't want another Black person telling them how it is that they should be spending their money, where it is that they need to put it, all this other type of stuff. Because then once you start doing that, they'll start looking, well, Seiji, what specifically, are you doing? Where do you have a trust? Do you have this? Do you have that? You need to sit up there and lead by example. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. I do need to lead by example. Right. And I try to do that by the platform that I created in order to actually sit up there and to talk to a lot of y'all that want to critique me every single time that I start talking about this shit that you really don't want to talk about. It's crazy. It's crazy. So like I said, Black women, the reason why, again, I'm listing this is because this is yet again another ploy. This is white America showing you that they quote unquote care, right? Because what's the main thing that is online, right? That you normally hear from other Black women out there. Oh, Black men don't care. They don't build anything. They don't invest in us. They don't give us this. They don't give us that, right? So who's going to sit up there and roll up and save the day? Who's going to be the good guy? Black men are the bad guy, right? Black men are the bad guy. Who's going to be the good guy? The white man. That's the same thing they did with the welfare system, right? We heard a video on that, right? So that's the same thing that they're doing right here. So yet again, this is showcasing the same thing. Let me make sure to put a picture back up there, because people not understanding the correlation. This is going right back up there, dealing with, that's the wrong image. This is going right back up there with this. How it is that we allow somebody like Pearly Things to come in and to further cause that divide. You are now seeing that divide happen here in real time. It's happening two different ways. You got a white woman that came in and divided the whole thing. So now you got Black women on this side and Black men on this side. Now you got the divestors just sitting up there like this with like Birdman, waiting for that payday because they're going to get views. They're going to get that money. They're going to get those subscribers and those donations. Like I said, y'all put in the hard work. Y'all put in that dedication. Y'all was waiting for this one moment or many moments. Kudos to y'all. Y'all doing what y'all got to do. Like I said, I ain't even mad at it no more. Y'all making y'all money. It is what it is. It is what it is. People are enabling it. People are allowing it. People are giving them the ammunition. Hey, why not sit up there and take out the time to create content to capitalize? Shout out to y'all. I tip my hat off. So now you got the white woman came in there, and now you got the white man coming up in there doing the exact same thing again, being the quote unquote savior for black women, showing that they actually care about black women being business owners. Yet again, how they did with the welfare system, in order for black women to get welfare, there had to be no man in the house. The man had to be pushed out in order for you to receive that money. Some families came to the agreement of like, you know what? Things are a little bit tough for me right now. As a black man, I'm not really getting the jobs that I'm supposed to be able to do. I'm not really providing for this house the way that I should be doing. So I'm going to sit up there and go to the side for a little bit so I can allow you to get the money that, you know, we need so that we can help out the family. Right? So just like that sat up there and took place, now we got this taking place. Right? And this also falls back into the whole thing that I talked about, the divorce rate, where divorce in America, it's at what, 70+% when it comes to women initiating divorce. And one of the things listed is finances, right? Because in marriages, you have people that will happen to argue over money and different things of that nature, along with the typical things like infidelity. Again, nobody's stating who exactly is doing the infidelity, but we do know that women are the primary ones initiating the divorce, and it's not guys. And then they also state, proof of which, going back to the money aspect, that when it goes up to a 90+ percentile when women are college educated, right? So in all of these aspects, you see what is transpiring. You see exactly what is taking place. And guess what? Black people are allowing it to happen. That's what's taking place. Black people are allowing it to happen. So my solution, again, to fix a lot of these things, number one, black men can easily come together and start pushing dumb shit to the side and actually start working together to actually benefit a brother instead of killing, instead of murdering, instead of robbing, instead of pillaging, instead of doing all of the shit that we normally sit up there and see on social media. Black men could actually get together in this space on these internet streets and actually start, cleaning up, right? They could actually start doing that. Black women, the same exact thing. Instead of y'all sitting up there gossiping, instead of y'all having to argument with this woman or this woman because the way that her hair looks, her eyeliner, her makeup, she thinks she a bad bitch, all this other type of shit. Instead of doing all of that, put all of that crazy shit to the side and actually work together. Formulate some business ideas. Billions of dollars are going directly into these Korean and these Asian-owned nail salons and these nail shops. Black women ain't really seeing none of that money. How many black female billionaires that you know from the hood that capitalized off of the hood is out here right now? I can't show you none. I can't show you none. How many black women are millionaires because they sat up there and started up businesses dealing with nail salons? They got hundreds of millions of dollars due to the fact of black women sitting up there supporting them. I can't show you none. Why is that? But yet I can sit up there. If I wanted to type in and look right now, all of the owners who own these nail salons and these hair shops, they're either Korean, Chinese, or just overall, they're just Asian. I could show you the yachts that they own. I could probably look up private schools. I could look up the land that they own. I could look up all of the houses that they got, vacation houses. And this is the main thing I kept trying to tell, black women, like, yo, y'all facilitating the same exact people that y'all say that's treating y'all bad in these nail shops, in these nail salons, y'all allowing them to do this. All of the riches that they sitting up there getting, how they able to flex on IG, and y'all allowing this to happen. Y'all sending their kids. Y'all putting food on their table, a roof over their head, They're able to buy these McLarens, Mercedes-Benz, these $1.3 million cars, while you still sitting up there driving like an old beat-up Toyota from 93. And then you want to sit up there and be mad. But yet you spending $1.1 billion annually. Like I said, if black men and black women literally start we want to sit up there and like work over here. Black men, we're going to work over here. Black women, y'all going to sit up there and work over here. And then once we, on both sides, people got like some shit going together, it's like, yo, we can sit up there and formulate some business relationships because we can see how things will interlock and how they'll sit up there and work out. We can sit up there and start formulating some bridges. We don't got bridges right now. We got a nuclear wasteland in the black community when it deals with black men and black women. Literally a nuclear wasteland. I can't really point this out to any other grouping or any other community where they have these things happening, or at least in these spaces. Literally at this moment in time, black people are a laughingstock. And I'm not even mad. Because again, we allow this to sit up there and transpire and happen by way of allowing certain people into these spaces, allowing certain people into our finances, allowing certain people into our relationships, allowing certain people into our households in order to break apart and divide those. So I'm just trying to understand how much more can we be angry at somebody else versus being angry at ourselves for allowing these things to actually take place. I'm just looking for it. I'm just waiting for it. Because like I said before, you're talking to a person that spent 4 to 5 years talking about the system, the government, all of this, and still talking about it because there's things that need to be highlighted. But at the same time, there are things within our control that we can do within our own communities, within our own households, in order to make sure that we can be the best that we can be in order to start making a mark. You know, case in point, the greatest example that I have is being in Detroit, out there shoveling. Whenever there's like a hard winter that would sit up there and come, you know what I was sitting up there doing? I'm like, yo, let me sit up there and get up at like 6 o'clock in the morning. Let me beat out all the other black dudes and the young black dudes that be coming out trying to sit up there and like shovel people's snow. So by the time daylight was really up, everybody is, you know, just now waking up, got their pajamas on. I'm going door to door to sit up there and start going to houses, right? Leading by example. The other example within that is the fact that I've stated to people that if people clean up their own house, their own space, and one person is leading by example, then another person does it across the street, then another person, guess what? The whole block is clean. So when I would sit up there and shovel snow, I did the driveway, I did the sidewalk, I did the walkway, I did the half portion of the street directly in front of my house, which was a nice sized portion. I would shovel that. And if I did a neighbor's house, I would do the exact same thing in front of their house dealing with the street. So that means half of the street out of the whole block, a portion of the street during the snow, you're looking at asphalt, right? Which means that if other black people sat up there and did the exact same thing that I was sitting up there doing, that means the whole street is clear, right? That means that you don't got to worry about nobody's car getting stuck. You can clearly sit up there and get out, right? But like I said before, even if I lead by example, that don't mean that everybody else is going to follow what it is that I'm doing. Just because I might be hardworking in one aspect, that don't mean that other black people are that hardworking. That doesn't mean that they want to sit up there and do that type of work. You got some black people that want to outsource the work. They don't really want to put in nothing. And I get that. I understand that. That's cool. And no problem with that. But you can't complain when it is that you're not getting the things that you should be getting. So as black people, when it comes to the black community, you can't complain about the block looking dirty if you ain't sitting up there cleaning up. If you ain't following that neighbor that's been around since like the 60s, that old neighbor, we've all seen those old neighbors. They were either a school teacher, a lawyer, a doctor, and they've been sitting back and they were retired. And the main thing that they do every morning, they come out, they water their flowers, they manicure the lawn and everything like that and the bushes, and they also clean up any and all trash that's around their home. It don't matter if it's in the alley, it don't matter if it's trapped behind the fence, don't matter if it's in between the bushes that is in the front, don't matter if it's on the grass or if it's in the street. If it's directly in front of their house, they're cleaning that up. But yet when I sat up there and saw them, I wanted to be just like them. But then when I looked outside of that house, when the rays of the sun was basically hitting like it was heaven, I saw just complete trash around everybody else's house. So no matter how bright that sun was beaming directly on that house because of how it is that they treated their home and their surroundings, it was dimmed because the other black people did not care as much. They didn't love as much. They didn't want to sit up there and put in that work and that dedication. And that is the black community in general. I can give a fuck if anybody wants to get mad at me, wants to sit up there and say not all black people, because let me teach you how to listen again. I threw myself directly in there. And like I said, at the end of the day, I can't sit up there and motherfucking be the hard working motherfucker out here for every other black person. Y'all got to get up and start motherfucking doing some shit. That's the main point that I'm saying. That's why I used the black community. That's why I used my block. That's why I used where I grew up from, the things that I was able to see. Also talk about the things that I did. I even have videos about me sitting up there shoveling during snowstorms in Detroit, showing the work that I would sit up there and do, and then panning out to all the other houses. Like I said, that shit is crazy to me. And this is when I consistently keep getting on black people and what it is that they not doing, because it's a lot of shit that we ain't doing. It don't matter if you are actually doing it. Case in point, myself, it's still a fail. Because whatever good that you do is not going to make up for the other 100, the other 1,000, the other 100,000, the other million. It's just not. It's going to get dwarfed. It's going to get dimmed. Ain't nobody going to give a fuck. So like I said, I can be a black man up here that will represent the L's, the squares, the geeks, the nerds, the gamers. I can be that black guy, but just because I'm living my life a certain type of way, that don't mean that other black dudes are going to decide to do that. Right? That don't mean that they're going to see that as a positive. That don't mean that that's something that's going to be beneficial to them, or that's going to highlight, or that's going to facilitate, the money that they want to sit up there and make. Like I said, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. And I talk about this consistently, directly on the platform. And, it is what it is. It's crazy. It's completely crazy. It don't make no type of sense. So like I said, I've been asking the same question for years. Do the black community want to fix the issues that are within the black community, or do you want to just sit up there and bitch and complain, and you want to just keep talking about one thing that you're clearly not going to be able to fix, nor do you have the power to fix? Or if you do have the power, you ain't trying to use it. Because the funniest thing is, the main power that everybody always talks about, black people voting, we could have used that same power in order to facilitate, in a sense, our own small governments. We could have did our own banking, our own businesses, right? But we're giving free time and will to like voting and doing all of these other things and still seeing the exact same things transpire. When realistically, none of the government officials that you vote in, they're not going to predominantly and specifically care about you. They're not going to be checking on the well-being of your kids, of your family, of your home. They're not going to be there when you have a funeral, when somebody passes, when you lose your son and or your daughter, when you're sitting up there suffering through cancer. They're not going to be there for any of that. But I can sit up there and tell you that if you're working with people that are in the community, community cares about community. Community will actually be there for you. I've actually seen that. I've seen that. Like I said, I was around during the time where phone was sitting up here dying. I was down there at the time where you had Kwame Kilpatrick was running for mayor, and he was the mayor of Detroit. And like I said, I tell the story like quite often, and able to see this black man, right, lawyer in a powerful position. He's a young dude, right? So it's like you're able to see him, you're able to see like his wife walking out the house, you're able to sit up there and like see the kids, right? You see like the bodyguards that they got, the cars. That's empowering. So then when you sit up there and see him walk through the block and he's sitting up there with other people and they're going around and they're cleaning up the trash on the block, they're sitting up there planting trees, they doing all of this other, that charges you up. That makes you want to sit up there and do something. You're looking at yourself like, yo, they all out here sitting up here doing something. Like, yo, I want to do something too. Let me start sitting up there, going out there and clean something. Let me find out how I can sit up there and take a part of this initiative. That's some empowering type stuff. But it's crazy that in order for a lot of these things to, in a sense, start, you got to, in a sense, have somebody that is a celebrity, in a sense, in order to do it. You got to have somebody with power. Like I said, somebody like me, it don't matter what the fuck I say. Black people ain't going to be, really listening. Black people ain't really going to be, paying attention. Right? Because I ain't nobody out here in these streets, right? I'm just a guy that has a voice in these YouTube streets. Like one woman has sat up there and stated about black male content creators, where she was like, yo, a lot of the black male content creators, like, they're lame and all this other type of stuff. If it wasn't for, the platforms, wouldn't nobody be listening to them? She's right. Without this platform, everything that I'm sitting up there stating, nobody would actually listen to me. Nobody would actually pay attention. Because like I said before, even friends that I have grown up with, I'm talking about like going to school with, right? Even I've had these conversations with people. Ain't nobody want to sit up there and listen. Wasn't nobody paying attention. If I wanted to speak on certain things, people would want to shut me down because, oh, you don't have these type of responsibilities. You're not paying these type of bills. You're not spending this type of money. You don't even have this type of money. So how can you speak on this? So like I said, it is what it is. All I know is that at the end of the day, the black community just keeps proving the shit that I say correct every single time. And I'm waiting for a point in time where the black community can actually prove me wrong so I can actually start moving on and focusing on different stuff. But obviously, I'm not at that point in time where I can actually do that. Because look at where we are. We're allowing the exact same two individuals to cause a ruckus, to cause a problem within the black community. And it's like the black community don't even see the attack that's happening. It's crazy. I can list you a multitude of different reasons why it is that you don't have black male leaders. I can list you a multitude of reasons why the image of the black woman is directly tainted. But within all of that, how many black people are actually going to take responsibility for their own self and their own image? And then understanding that the image that you put out is the image that other people are going to generalize and use in order to cover black people as a whole. And I'm only specifically talking about the negative. Nobody gives a fuck about the positive. It don't matter if your kids are sitting up there going to college. It don't matter if they're getting A's and B's, busting their ass. It don't matter if they are a gold medalist in the Olympics, Junior Olympics. No matter if it's track, no matter if they're starting up a business. Nobody, including the black community, cares. And I'm just going to be honest with you. The black community don't care for black children doing anything positive. They don't care nothing for young black boys doing anything positive. They don't care for nothing about black men doing anything positive. The only thing that we happen to zoom in on is all of these people doing the most negative things. So if you got black dudes out here ripping and running, tearing up the streets, murdering, pillaging, setting stuff on fire, carjacking, negatively going after black women in a multitude of ways, in some instances ending their lives. That's what we tend to focus on because that's all black people realistically want to focus on. We love drama. Let's just be honest. Let's just be honest. Let's just 100% be honest. The black community loves drama. If the black community didn't love drama, then we wouldn't have a lot of the reality TV shows that we have at this moment in time depicting black women in a negative and a bad light. Let me know if I'm lying. Because it ain't black men sitting up there watching these shows with like the reality wives and hip hop wives and all this. It ain't black men sitting up there, tuning into that, subscribing to that, endorsing that, using that as memes trying to say that I felt that she really represents me. When she said that, she said that. Nah. Like I said before, a lot of times when we have images tainted, it's due to the effect that we allow it. And that's just on the side of black women. And it has nothing to do with black men. So then go into the aspect of black men when it deals with rap, when it deals with the music, when it deals with all of that imagery. Who's allowing that? Black men are allowing that. Irregardless on if it's white people or whoever running the corporations, we still sign up to do this. And it's the same music since for the longest time possible, even since almost before I was born. Same exact music. I got these bitches. I got this hoe. I got this. I got more money than you. Look at my car. Right? I'll be killing him. I got a full clip for them, and them. It's the exact same shit. We literally sit up there and subscribe to a prescription that enables the death of black men and young black men and people, black people in general in our communities. And then we got the nerve to sit up there and turn around and get mad at white people. Like I said, yeah, they sit up there and push out the music, but we're the ones that create it. We're the ones, whenever you look at interviews, right? What do you hear black people sitting up there stating? Oh, yeah, I'm just sitting up there rapping about my life. I'm rapping about, what I seen. I'm telling my story. Your story is the same as everybody else. Every other black man that's been in the game, that's been in the streets, that's been selling drugs, in and out of prison, all of this shit. It's the exact same story. It ain't nothing different. Ain't nothing different. Like I said, nobody's going to point me to anything different. It ain't. It's the exact same shit. It don't matter what state it's in. It's the exact same shit. But yet everybody's story is different. They got to tell their side. You talking about killing. You talking about bitches. You talking about hoes. You be talking about in some instances getting women pregnant, not taking care of those kids. You talking about all this money that you making illegally, indicting and incriminating yourself. You talking about the people that you sit up there and roll with. You want to be sitting up there waving and flashing guns, talking about, yeah, I got this for the ops, I got this for the cops, I got this for that, I got that. And you wonder why you don't have a lot of young black men out here wanting to be scholars, wanting to be lawyers, wanting to be doctors, wanting to be nurses, right? Wanting to actually go into trade schools. That's because that's not what's getting pushed directly out there. Because we allow that. Right? Like I said, ask some black people out here who their favorite artists are. They're going to sit up there and start talking about Biggie and Tupac and yada yada yada. They're at least going to be somewhere up in that 10, somewhere up in that 5. Some people might be like, yo, I'm about to list some black male artists from like the 80s and stuff and da 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 and all this other. That's cool, that's great. But 9 times out of 10, Tupac and Biggie going to be somewhere up there. And both of those guys had some music that was highly questionable, but yet we still put them as the GOATs, as the legends, as this and that, and all these other types of things. And then when you look at a lot of these artists, the older artists, they'll sit up there and say like, yo, who did you emulate? Who did you get inspired by? People say Tupac, people say Biggie, some people will say some other type of artists as well. So, like I said, I try to sit up there and make this as simple as possible when it comes to what it is that the black community should be talking about, what it is that the black community should specifically care about. I make it as simple as possible. I try to sit up there again. I try to make this like an even playing field. But like I said, you got a lot of individuals directly out here that want to get away from the conversation and that want to, try to insinuate and state a variety of things. Right. But like I said, things like that normally happen. And let me just reiterate this to y'all again. Whenever y'all happen to see somebody in the comment section, and I'll entertain it because I'm for the shits. But whenever you happen to see somebody in my comment section and they want to roll up and they want to start trying to push the conversation, somewhere else, like how you saw what Kay did earlier, That's due to the fact that they don't want to specifically talk about the problems and the issues. I've tried to use my platforms, both platforms, a multitude of times where I've had black women. Let me reiterate this, right? And I know Light is not here. I can't think of the other girl. Oh man, I can't think of her name. I can see her face. I can't think of her name. But again, there was a live stream that I had before where two of the black women that I have that are moderators who have been through relationships, right? Who have been through a variety of things, and they survived. And they were specifically trying to talk to a woman who was, in a sense, in the exact same circumstances, but she didn't want to really acknowledge those circumstances. She didn't want to be honest with herself that, yo, you are setting yourself up bad. It's like you need to get up out of this to be safe. And then we found out later that the woman had a daughter, right? And then we found out that her daughter is, in a sense, in an abusive relationship with a guy. And that the mother that is in a sense, or has been in abusive relationships, quote unquote, cares about her daughter, and she's trying to tell her daughter to get out. But yet, it's like, how can you tell and direct your daughter to do something when you've never sat up there and done it? You've been through 3 relationships with abusive type of guys. Either they were physically or verbally abusive to you, and you still stayed there with those guys, and you had kids. And now your daughter then followed your footsteps. This is why I sit up there, like I said, one of these days I'm going to go through my live streams so I can specifically give that video to y'all so y'all can understand what I'm saying. I go hard on black women, again, because of the standard that I have when it comes to the women that raised me, the women that I was around, the women that taught me value, love, and respect of black women. That's why I go so hard. So then when I sit up there and do live streams and I have women sit up there and show up there trying to help another black woman who can't even help herself, but that she's trying to care and help her daughter get out of the same situation, this is why I get angry. This is why I get mad. This is why I start running off at the mouth. And you can't sit up there and tell me shit because I have actual fucking examples. But like I said before, black people think that they know what's best for themselves. You got a lot of black women out here that want to lead themselves. No problem. We'll see how that goes. You want to sit up there and listen to other women? You want to do this, that, and the third? You got married women out here, married women sitting up here taking advice from single black women about a marriage. How the fuck does that even work? Somebody make that make sense. Somebody. Like I said, a lot of shit is directly backwards out here. You got black women taking a relationship and advice from other black women that can't even hold a relationship. They ain't even been in a consistent, loving, caring, respectful relationship. But yet, they're able to sit up there and give other black women advice. And then you wonder why it is that your relationships still ain't working, why you can't find the black man that you want to be with, why certain black men aren't attracted to you. But like I said, if you want to lead yourself, we can see exactly where that's going to sit up there and go. We can look at that at this moment in time. Like I said, when you got a black dude that actually wants the best for y'all, that actually like cares and loves, you end up taking a lot of shit. It is what it is. Like I said, and I sit up there and keep bringing up that photo. You live long enough to die the hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And you got black women out here that see me as the villain. And I'm cool with that. Along with, other black men that they want to categorize and generalize and all this other. That's cool. No problem. You need somebody to hate. You got the face right here. You can clearly do it. All of my content is directly up there. You can sit up there and splice it. You can make your arguments sitting up there saying, Seji hates black women. Seji hates the black community. What's some of the words they use? Like grifter. He's a coon. He's this. He's working for the white man. He's a double agent. All of the content is directly up there. You can clearly sit up there and make it. You can do the work yourself, and you can sit up there and peruse through it and find gold nuggets directly up there. I'm not the type of content creator that's going to sit up there and try to strike you, that's going to try to copyright you, or anything like that. I don't give a fuck. If you're able to make money from it, oh well, kudos to you. But like I said, to the black women out there, if you wonder why it is that you don't see a lot of black men, in a sense, trying to show that they love and care about black women, that's because it's a thankless job. It's realistically a thankless job. If you look at the now black women who have platforms where they're advocating for black men, they're supporting black men, they've made a safe space. They're speaking highly of black men. Well, while also, at points in times given critiques which are necessary, you see the love and support that they sit up there and get. I done seen a multitude of times on live streams on these platforms by these women. Black women sitting up there, they're getting donations. And rightfully so. They're getting the things that they deserve. They're getting the support that they need and that they deserve. But again, when it comes to black men doing this, advocating for the community, advocating for black men, for the children, for the family, for the nuclear this, the nuclear that. When it comes to black men trying to sit up there and say like, yo, we black men, there's black men out here that love you, that actually care about you, that's not, about hate and all this other nothing. It's silence. But, like I said, the main thing that I understood is that people will, in a sense, appreciate things like once it's not happening or once it's gone. And like I said, that's just the end result. When you're a black man, this is what I want. We got 66 people here. So for any black man that is here, a young black man, I want you to understand this. The saddest part about being a black man is the fact of knowing that you're not going to be actually fully loved and appreciated up until after you die. That's the realization. Because while you're here, you're going to have to deal with hate from every single person. You're going to have to deal with blame from every single person, right? You're going to have to try to fix every single problem, even though you're not a part of the problem, never even done anything to help that problem be a problem. You got to take on all of this worry, all of this stress, all of this focus. You got to be the focal and the main point and the main center. You're going to have to take a lot of hate while you are here. Don't matter if it's from your family, don't matter if it's from your wife, if it's from your girlfriend, if it's from your fiance, if it's from your kids, if it's from the black community, if it's from the world in general. That's what it is to be a black man. And you're going to have to eat that. And you're going to have to walk with that and live with that every single day. That's the sad part. I can't really list another group of men that in a sense have to face something like that, because when I look at other groups of men, I see them getting appreciated. When I look at the Latin guys out here, they're getting appreciated no matter what they're doing. Right now, they got some stuff going on in their countries. They got gangs doing a lot of stuff, but they still get that love and they still get that respect. White men, no matter what they've been doing for centuries, for eons, they still get that love and that respect. They get that while they're here and they get that after they're gone. Right? Same thing with the Asian men. Same thing more than likely with the African men as well. The men that don't get that is black men in America. And like I said before, I can point to a lot of atrocities that have taken place to women all over the world and that are still taking place literally as I speak, probably every 15 or every minute in a whole nother country. But yet, even still in that country, no matter what's happening with those women, you still have women of that community or the women of that community still loving, respecting, and valuing those men and still standing by those men. When it deals with the men in the black community in America, you ain't getting that. You're not getting that. One of the hardest things that I ever heard was the fact of a black mother stating that the only point in time that she wanted to hear anything about her son was that if he was dead. And when I sat up there, when I heard that, even though I know that wasn't vocally, I'm like, that's not my mom. My mom would never say anything like that to me or about me. But just knowing that there's a black woman out there that thinks that low of her son, somebody that she carried for 9 months. Don't call me unless he's dead. That right there, that hurt. And again, there are things in the black community that sons have to deal with and go through with their moms that don't get talked about in these spaces. Because the main thing that is told is that black women can do no wrong. Black women are the gods. Black women are the mothers. Black women have raised us all, which they have. But you also have some women out here that are not mothers. Just because you sat up there and carried a child for 9 months does not automatically make you a mother. So, I think I'm probably going to end it on that one. Shout out to Thomas for subscribing to the platform. Like I said, I've done a lot of stories dealing with the black community. I've covered a lot of gruesome stuff. And just hearing something like that hits different. That hits harder than a lot of the stories that I've had to cover, than a lot of the videos that I've had to sit up there and watch. Because I know that as a black man growing up in a single parent household, I know how it is that we see our mothers. We see them as God because you carried us. We see you as, that immortal one. We see you as that invincible, person. And it's like, as you start to go through life, we want to do everything to sit up there and try to ease that, to try to make sure that you're fine and dandy. And like I said before, to have a mother say that to her black son, and you wonder why it is that you got young black dudes out here treating young black women any other type of way. The first love of their life is the first interaction that they have. So however that black mother treats that son, inevitably, he's going to reflect that directly on black women. But again, within these spaces, within the confines of YouTube, the internet, whatever it is, nobody's really talking about that. And that's a shame. Because that's also a problem too. That's also a problem on why it is that your daughters out here might be getting treated or looked at a certain type of way. While your mothers or your aunts might be getting, disrespected, or other, vile things might be taking place and happening. Like I said, the main thing that I say is that I hope that everybody is, I wasn't trying to bring people down or nothing like that during the live stream and shit, but I hope that everybody goes out here, has a good day. Go out there and pay attention to your kids. Give them a kiss, give them a hug, because the kids are the most important thing. Go out there, take care of yourself. Treat yourself every once in a while to like a meal or something nice and different things of that nature. And just work on becoming better. Like I said before, and I listed myself, I might not be the best example for a lot of things. This is why I don't consider myself as a leader, because I got stuff that I need to work on, that I'm consistently working on, that I'm doing. And this is why I sat up there and stated that I never found myself to be a leader, because realistically you need somebody that is, I guess, just that perfect fixture, or whatever it is. So, hopefully for, the mothers out there who are actually mothers, shout out to you. Thank you for, taking care of us. Thank you for, loving us. Thank you for, carrying us, sheltering us. Um, even shout out to my mom, even though she probably ain't gonna see this. Shout out, to my mom for doing everything that she did. I didn't have, a father in my life, but even though I got disagreements with my uncles and the things that they're doing right now, I gotta give credit where credit is due and give a shout out to them for being those male role models. My one uncle has been holding down the same job for about 30 to 40 years, working directly at the post office. I've always loved that about him, and I've always respected that. I've always admired, um, the type of strength um, that he is. The fact that he was always around his kids, that he never abandoned his kids or anything like that. Also, got to give a shout out to my other uncle, who, when he found out later that he was the father of my cousin, that he stepped into the role of being a father, that he was there for my cousin every step of the way. And he did what he needed to do in order to be that example, in order to be that father. So shout out to the fathers out there. Shout out to the black men and the black families that don't get any type of credit, that don't get any type of love, any type of respect, any type of acknowledgement. Just know that the guys like me that have grown up in those households, we see you, we love you, we appreciate every single thing that you have done, everything that you have invested, everything that you have, given directly to us. It is a thankless job, but you are there to do it when our fathers aren't. And because of everything that I have learned from my family, from my community, that has culminated into the person that I am today. So I am thankful for that. And, I would not want to be part of any other community but the black community. Like I said, I'm happy and I'm proud to be melanated, proud to be black, and proud to be, having a platform that I have at this moment in time. So, hopefully within the live stream, it was about 3 hours. Hopefully people are, you know, able to pull something positive directly from it. If not, that's whatever. So, again, I'm going to end it there. Love you guys. Much love and respect. Again, I wasn't able to check my phone because it was, off, over to the side because I had that running, trying to hear to make sure that the live stream was working and doing what it was supposed to do. But to anybody that donated directly to the platform, either by way of Patreon, PayPal, or Cash App, much love, respect, and appreciation. It's due to people like you and many others that allow me to do the things that I'm able to do, on this platform every single day. And I appreciate it every single waking moment, every single day that, I get up. So peace, love, and I will see you guys next time.